Video on? Okay. Hi, everybody. Hello, good afternoon. Are you all with me? Students are waiting. Yes, it's for waiting. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to this marathon session. I guess students are just joining in. In the meanwhile, hope all of you had a great time at the IPM Rotak exam. I hope you all did well. Yeah. Was it easier than expected? On the whole, that was the impression. IPM Rotak. Hope it went well for all of you. So here we are again to give you last minute tips and a quick round of practice in English followed by quant for IPM Indore, which is round the corner. Okay. Welcome again. Shall we start? Are you all there? Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you all give me a good afternoon just to make sure you are all with me and that you're not sleeping after lunch? Okay. So let's start. But I'm waiting for comments. Do we have any good afternoons yet? Or any comment just to make sure you are all with me? Okay. Thank you, Ria. Good afternoon. Great. Just wanted to make sure you can all hear me and see me. Ready to start? Okay. So, in IPM Indore, the pattern is not very different from IPMAT Rotak, right? We have reading comprehension and we have an assortment of verbal ability questions, including vocabulary, grammar, and para-based questions in various presentations. Okay, the exact pattern is never constant. Yeah, the pattern goes a little here and there every year. However, the broad areas covered have been constant so far for the last few years. Okay, so see, whatever change they make, specific change they make in the pattern should not bother you, because in our classes we cover these portions extensively, and moreover, even if you have not attended our classes, the reading comprehension is one broad area which is unlikely to change. Grammar, vocabulary, VA, verbal ability, para-based questions, these broad areas are unlikely to change. Within that, if there are changes, you shouldn't worry much. Navya, let's hope are things don't get any worse than they are at this moment. Okay, we don't have any such notification about any postponement. Okay, that is why we have this marathon happening today. Let us think positive and prepare for anything. That is how I guess we are all, that is our state of mind right now. Yeah, as of now, there is no such news. Okay, so let us start. Yeah, I have put together, like we did for IPM Rotak. If you were with me in that session, you know we looked at questions from the past few years. Okay, so today in that session we looked at a few questions from Indore and a few questions from Rohtak. It was a general IPMAT marathon. Today it is an IPMAT Indore intensive marathon. So we have questions only from Indore papers of the last few years. Fine. Okay. So we have reading comprehension questions first. However, you know, at the end of the session, I will be doing a tips round, okay, a quick round of last minute tips for you. So, one of the things I have included there is that you should, in the paper, given the time constraint, you should try and attempt the shorter questions first. Okay, the shorter questions. What are the shorter questions, guys? The shorter questions. What are the shorter questions? Vocabulary. If they are going to give us vocabulary based questions, then we also have grammar, right? We also have fill in the blanks, can be grammar or vocabulary. So those are very short questions. Any vocab and grammar questions are what we call the short questions. Okay. Apart from that, yeah, so those are the questions you should handle first. So any error identification, any fill in the blank question like this, there are fill in the blanks with multiple blanks also. In Rohtak they have been, sorry, in Indore they have been giving 3 blank fill in the blanks of late. I think till a couple of years ago they also had 4 blank um, questions, but even then these questions are much easier to solve than, say, para formation, para completion, and definitely reading comprehension. Okay, so complete the para. Could we count this? Yes. Complete the para would be somewhere in between short and long, right? Good question, Manisha. Because we only need to fill in one sentence, we can consider it kind of short. But then the trick there is that you need to, or the catch there is that you need to read the entire para before choosing from 4 complete sentences. So compared to question like this, where you only need to read one sentence and identify one word to fit or one expression to fit into the blank, even para completion can be a little long. But yes, shorter than reading comprehension and shorter than para formation also. So ideally, the order I would suggest would be to start with vocab, then grammar. Vocab and grammar are more or less the same. Then, yes, like you said, para completion, then para formation, and then reading comprehension, unless you are a reading comprehension pro. I do know students who are extremely quick readers and who have very high accuracy in reading comprehension. If you are one such student, then please follow your own order. Okay, but this is what generally works for most students. Fine. Let us look at this question. What is this question here? Okay, complete the sentence by choosing the most appropriate word or phrase. As you can see, the options are all phrases, not words here. And this is from IPMAT 2024, last year's paper. Okay, so we have dealt with idioms, phrases, phrasal verbs, etc. extensively. And dear students, please revise your notes of all these question types. Okay, idioms, phrases, and phrasal verbs. Please go through your list of all these because these are sure to appear in one way or the other in the exam. Okay. Let us read the sentence. In a circus where performers share dressing rooms, training spaces, and work in a fast paced environment, the success of a show dash fostering teamwork and collaboration. Okay, so what is the meaning here? The success of a show depends on, or it amounts to, fostering teamwork and collaboration. Please look at the options. Comes with, come along with, comes down to, comes about. Okay. Okay, here I've got multiple answers. First of all, which option can you eliminate straight away? Straight away, can't you eliminate this? Uh, Give me a second. Where's my pen? Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah. Now my question has gone off. Give me a second. Yeah, here we go. So, what can we eliminate straight away? The success of a show. The subject is what? The success. Success is singular or plural? Success is singular. So, success comes with, success not come with. Hence, we can rule out B. Okay, very good, Priyal. You can rule out B. Hmm? If anybody mentioned B as the answer, Please note, this is an option you can straight away eliminate even if you don't know the meaning of this. Now, even if it were comes along with, success of a show comes along with, what would that mean? Along with success, you have other things also. But what is the meaning of this? Success comes through fostering, or comes uh, through, yes, if you are to use come, then we have to say comes through fostering teamwork and collaboration. But the actual meaning is comes as a result of, or it boils down to, or it amounts to, or is equivalent to, right? These are the implications here. Hence, come along with, even if it were comes along with, it would not make sense. Comes with, see, normally when do we say success comes with? We say success comes with its own share of challenges. Means, if success happens, then other aspects which are sort of different from success also come along with it. Okay, so that is the meaning of come with or come along with. Mm, every victory comes with its own whatever challenges or its own problems, issues. Okay, A and B. Now, come about, to come about is to happen, so that also does not make sense here. Comes down to, very good, those who got the answer, Minisha, Aryan and others, if anyone got the answer. Comes down to, something comes down to, or something boils down to, same meaning. Means, it means, success means, or success amounts to. That is the meaning of come down to. Okay, did you get it, guys? This is from the actual exam last year. Okay, so this is the level. You just need to practice the phrases, idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs that we have already discussed, or any list anywhere online. Please go and go through it. That is all. Okay. Here, a similar question again. This is also from the same paper. Okay. The students' picnic plans dash when it started raining heavily in the morning. Can you give the answer? The students' picnic plans, what happened to the plans? The plans got foiled, or the plans failed, collapsed when it started raining heavily in the morning. So, dropped out, dropped off, fell through, or fell behind. If you know the meaning of this, here it is a phrasal verb. Okay, phrasal verb. These are all phrasal verbs, you know, right? A verb followed by some preposition or something to make an expression which has its own meaning. Okay, excellent. Many of you have given the answer. Fell through. Very good, guys. Fall through. To fall through is to fail or collapse, especially in terms of plans. Okay, a plan falling through means the plan collapsing, okay, or failing. So, not dropped out. Someone dropped out from something means they opted out, they decided not to be part of something. Drop off is to drop someone, actually, right? Or to drop things at someone. I dropped off some vegetables at my mom's place. I left them there. I went and gave them to her. Okay. I can see your question, Yashraj. Give me a minute. Okay. Let me finish this. Then I'll look at your question. Okay. Drop out, drop. Oh, you know of school dropouts, right? You know the expression, someone dropped out from school means they decided to discontinue. Drop off, I told you. Fell behind. To fall behind is to literally be behind the rest of the people, to lag behind. Okay. So what do we have here? Fall through or fail. Okay. I have a question from Yashraj. Yeah. I am still unsure about grammar questions and low on confidence in my answers with IPMAT. Any suggestions? Okay. Uh, Yashraj, when we do the grammar questions today, see how you fare there. Okay. See how you do there. You have if you are a student of time, then you have your grammar study material. Please go through the basic concepts once quickly. If you are not a student, try to just gather your wits, gather your presence of mind, and see what are the question types which you are okay with in grammar. Okay, ultimately, if you are scared of grammar, are you scared of vocabulary? Maybe vocabulary is what works for you, right? Maybe I'm saying this because the exam is around the corner and I can't tell you to keep practicing now. That is going to make you more nervous. I am sure you have done your preparation well. It is just a lack of confidence. All of us have our problem areas, right? In any subject, we all have a problem area. So if grammar is what you're scared of, don't attempt those questions right in the beginning. Okay, you attempt vocabulary questions. How are you with reading? Is your reading speed okay? Hmm? Are you okay? Because see, reading comprehension is one area where you don't have to dig deep for answers. You don't have to burn your brains actually. If you understand the passage well, that is one question type where you actually have the answers in the paper. Right? You just need to know how to interpret the passage. So, Yashraj, this question is for you. Are you okay with reading comprehension? Yeah? Are you somewhat okay there? If so, then change the order that I just mentioned. Okay, if grammar is what scares you, keep it for the last. And then everything is top notch beside grammar. Then why do you have to worry? Yes. Huh? Grammar is not the end of the world. Okay, you will have 4 or 5 questions in grammar. What you do is you look at, see, you're saying everything is top notch. That means you're doing really well in all the other areas. Wonderful. Do your vocab first then. For you, I'm changing my order. Do your vocab first, then do your reading comprehension. If you are confident with para questions also, you do those. By then, you know how many questions you have attempted. Then you go through the grammar questions. You'll definitely be able to do 1 or 2. Enough. If you leave a couple of questions, nothing is going to happen. Nobody ends up getting full mark. Nobody, as in very few people, end up getting full marks. That is not required, right? Couple of questions, if you leave, at least you will not get negative marks. Leave those tough grammar questions with confidence, and attempt the others well. Okay, good luck. It's good to know your strengths and weaknesses. That is a wonderful thing. Okay, fine. We have another, what is this phrasal verb? All the employees agreed that the new regulations had dash positive changes in the workplace. A very commonly used phrasal verb. All the employees agreed that the new regulations had what? Had contributed to or had created positive changes in the workplace. What is the answer? Brought up. All of you are saying brought up. Hmm? Can you please think? This new government dash some reforms. My parents brought me up. But the new regulations didn't bring up the positive changes. To bring up is to raise. Okay, to raise. Okay, now the answers are coming. Yes, that was an initial confusion, I guess. Not brought up. To bring up is to raise, or there is to raise in 2 ways. Okay, one is to raise children, to bring up our children. Another is to raise an issue. Okay, why did you bring up this issue now? Right? Means to raise an issue, to highlight an issue. Okay, these are the 2 meanings of brought up. Okay, careful there. Brought on positive changes does not have any particular meaning. Okay, there is no particular meaning for that. We can say, come on, bring it on, bring it on. Okay, that is all. Now, brought along. I brought along my daughters for the party. So, brought along is to literally bring with you. To bring about. Haven't you heard this? I am sure you have. I think it's because of the past tense that you are a little confused. What is to bring about reforms or to bring about changes? To bring about is to cause or to create. Okay. So The new regulations had brought about positive changes in the workplace. Please note, I know phrasal verbs can be a little confusing, a bit of last minute revision. That is all you need. Don't get worried. Don't get worked dash. Come on. Don't get worked dash. What do I have in mind? Which phrasal verb do I have in mind? Don't get. You all know this. I'm just asking you to work your brains. Don't get worked. Very good, Priyal. Don't get worked up. Absolutely. That is also a phrasal verb. All of you know this. So it's as simple as that. Don't get worked up. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Now, this is a sort of idiomatic kind of expression. Okay. If you ask me to give you a rough estimate is the clue here, for the cost of the project dash, I would say 30 lakhs. One more comma will be better. Dash, I would say 30 lakhs. Look at the expressions. Off the mark, off the grid, off the cuff, off the mic. It should be easy. Off the mark, huh? Guys, look at the meaning little more carefully in the exam. Don't go and click like this, okay? Huh? Just 2 more seconds to think of the meaning. What is the meaning of something is off the mark? And what is the intended meaning here? Does he want to make a wrong estimation? Does he want to misestimate? He wants to make an approximately correct estimation, but a rough estimation, right? Off the mark means your answer is totally off the mark. Unfortunately, option A is totally off the mark. Not only is option A off the mark, but it is totally off the mark. Means it is wrong. It is a wrong estimate. What is the answer here? Off the cuff. Very good, Navya. And others. Many others have given. See, very good. Off the cuff. Off the cuff is just like that, a rough estimate. Okay, you know what a cuff is, right? Cuff of your shirt. So, off the cuff, I'm pulling out an estimate. That is all. It means a very rough estimate without proper calculation. Got it? Off the cuff. Not off the mark, off the grid and off the mic. We don't know what they mean. So, there you go. Clear? Guys, if you are not a student, you can just go online, look for some phrasal verbs and these kind of idiomatic expressions. Okay? Phrasal verbs, phrases, common phrases. You will find all these questions. Don't panic. Okay? Here some confusing options. Can you tell me? Some big shots know how to escape the law even after big shot. You know what that means, right? Elite people, those in power or authority or the rich ones. Some big shots know how to escape the law even after they violate it. It is, however, the dash who are more often apprehended means caught, booked by law and punished. Aha, very good. Minisha, others? Small fry, tiny shots, big shot, tiny shot. Good one. Tiny fish and small fish. This is IPM Indore 2023. Okay, actual questions. Okay. Small fry, tiny shot, tiny fish, small fish, all sound good. Which is the right answer now? Oh, this is good, yeah? So all of you are familiar with small fry? That is nice. Nobody took small fish, huh? Very good. Small fry is the answer. Small fry refers to the less important people or the less powerful people. Okay. In some contexts, we also say small fishes. That is a different context. Okay. The small fishes are the small player, not small fish, but small fishes are the small players, the less powerful players in a group of whatever, in a competition or something. But here it is small fry. Very good, guys. That's again idiom. That's why it's called idiomatic expression. Idiomatic expression is an expression which we do not have an exact reason for its origin. Okay, fine. This all of you should know. This is again 23 Indore. A few brands tailor their pants in such a way that it is easy for people with prosthetic legs. Do you know this meaning, guys? Prosthetic legs, prosthetic limbs. Do you know? These are artificial limbs, okay? It's a term you should all know. Prosthetic limbs are artificial limbs. Prosthetic legs to put them on. This is how they. So if a company decides to make its pants in such a way that prosthetic legs can also fit, they are going out of their way. They are doing something extra. What is the right expression there? Yes, all of you got it. Good job, guys. Wonderful. Go the extra mile. Go the extra mile is to do something out of the way, to do something beyond the bare minimum expectations. Yeah, especially for a good cause, to help someone, etc. To go the extra, or even when you put effort in your studies, you can say go the extra mile. That is extra effort. Very good. Okay, none of these make any sense. Okay. Okay, so we have, okay, the incorrect part of the sentence is underlined, but there is no underline here. So what is this? Board's hopes to continuing till where? Here. This is the underlined part, okay? So who was the student who had an issue with grammar? Yashraj. Yashraj, also please try this question, okay? Let us get over that fear. The negotiations are unsuccessful and the boards, first of all, see if you can spot the errors in this sentence, okay, in the underlined part of the sentence. The boards hopes to continuing talks on a future deal seems, okay. Many mistakes are there. First of all, see if you can identify all the mistakes. After that, can you pick the answer? Excellent. Minisha, others? Others, if I say excellent, that doesn't mean always that it's the right answer. Others don't need to go by that. Whatever it is, any attempt, I will say excellent. Okay. So please give me your answers. Hmm? Okay. Yeah, give me your answers, whatever they are. Um, Okay, those who picked C or B did not spot one error here. Okay, what is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two? Can you tell me, guys? Boards and boards. The difference is in the placement of the apostrophe. Yes, possession. Very good. Sahana, plural. Absolutely. So, in words which form the plural using S, okay, if the word is singular, you put the apostrophe after the word. If the word is plural, you put the apostrophe after the S. Please note this, those who do not know. So let me check if you understand this. The kids, how do I erase only this? I don't know. Sorry, everything went off. I need to underline this again. Okay. So what is the difference between the kid's mother and the kid's mother. Just in case anyone is confused with this, what is the difference between these two? The kid's mother and the kid's mother. The same thing here, okay? I just want to make sure you understand the rule because this is an oft tested rule in all these exams. Singular kid in the first sentence, one kid, more than one kid. Second one, excellent. Second one is the mother of many kids. Very good, Kanak, Minisha, and Sahana. Excellent. Good job. Chocolate for you. Please buy one each on my behalf, okay? Tell your parents, don't forget. So the first one is one kid's mother, one kid. Second one is 2 plus. Correct? No, my math is correct. 2 plus. I can't say 1 plus, that will include 1 also. Many kids, as you all said. Okay. This applies only to plurals which end in S. Now look at this. Children's park. Tell me, is this correct? What I have written here on the board. Children's park. Is this correct, guys? Yes or no? Just tell me. Yes or no? We need to brush up some rules like this. You remember, guys, those who came for Rohtak, we brushed up the rules on tenses, and I think you had 2-3 questions on tenses, no? I was very happy to see that. So, yeah. Children itself is the plural. No, no, excellent. So, more chocolates. If we eat so many chocolates, it'll be bad. So, get some nice things for yourself, okay? It is not correct. Children itself is plural, absolutely. So, how do I erase only one thing? Let me try, okay? Let me try eraser. Now, if I go here, oh yes, that worked. So, children's apostrophe is wrong because children is a plural. It is not a plural ending with S. Correct? So, we have to add S and, oh, and, okay, and put the apostrophe here. Fine? Got it? Okay. So, the answer here is A. Now, you must have understood why it is A. Boards, hopes. See, here another problem is boards hope to continuing talks. No, boards hopes to continue talks, not to continuing talks. Okay, technically it is not correct. Some in American English I've heard such usages, but technically I hope to continue. I have hopes of continuing. Correct? So, board's hopes to continuing talks on a future deal is not really correct. Also, the board's hopes is the subject. Hopes is a plural word. Hence, you cannot have seems. That is also, see, there are multiple errors here. Now you can see that the first segment is correct. The first option is correct. If you have any doubts, please do ask me. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, last year's paper, IPM Indore 2024. Okay, so what is the underlined part? From provide to solace. From provide to solace. Let us underline that. Okay. Yeah. Is not of continuing wrong, huh, Kanak? Let me go there again, okay? Board's hopes of, my hopes of passing the exam or my hopes to passing the exam, Kanak? My hopes to pass the exam or, wait, let us clarify this question for Kanak. So, my hopes of passing the exam were not in vain, or My hopes to pass the exam were not in vain, but of passing the exam would be a better choice here. Okay, did you get it, Kanak? Huh? Did you get it? If you didn't get it, please tell me, okay? The board's hopes of doing something, of continuing talks. Okay, you got it. Wonderful. Okay, let us come to this. Some of you have already given me the answer. B, C, B. Let me see what the answer is. While the bustling city streets were filled with the cacophony is loud noise of honking horns and chatter of pedestrians. Okay, yeah. The serene countryside where time seemed to move at a slower pace provide a welcome retreat. What tense is this sentence in? The first part of the sentence, what tense is it, guys? The bustling city streets were filled with, past tense, simple past tense, okay? Were filled with the cacophony, passive voice, but past tense. So we need the entire sentence to be in past tense. You can't change the tense suddenly, no? Again here, the serene countryside where time seemed to move at a slower pace. So, what tense should this be in? You tell me now what the answer should. Simple past. Very good. Hey, excellent, guys. I'm very proud of you all. You all remember your tenses. Excellent. So, C, right? Provided. So, let us read it again with the correct option. Provided a welcome retreat for, okay, error here, for those seeking solace. Solace is peace. Okay, provides is present tense, provides is again present tense, and again here them seeking solace is wrong. uh, Provided a welcoming. Between welcome retreat and welcoming retreat, welcome is better. They were welcoming in their attitude, but a welcome retreat, a welcome break, a welcome change. Game over, huh? What game is over, dear? You mean this question is over? You want to move on? Okay, got it? Fine. Okay. My Aunt Seema was the most generous of all the members of our family. Whenever common confusing usage, okay, with insist. Whenever we went out for dinner, she always insisted to pay for the meal. Sorry. Where would this underlined part be? She always insisted to pay for the meal. Okay. Insisted, they insisted to go out, etc. This is a very commonly used wrong usage. So, okay. You have, this is some sort of quick revision. Arnav, I didn't get you. Is this some sort of quick revision? Yeah, it is. It is. What do you want it to be something else also? Please let me know. Last few minutes, we will have tips and tricks before moving on to quant. Okay? Yeah? Arnav, please feel free to give me your suggestions. It is some sort of quick revision because the exam is knocking at our door. But if you want something else, do let me know. Yeah. So, okay, you were just checking. Fine. So, she always insisted that she will be paying for the meal. No, that there is a tense mismatch. She always insisted that she pay for the meal. Now, when it is she, you will ask me, why shouldn't it be pays for the meal? Right? This is the use of insist. She insisted that she pay for the meal. Here, the subject verb agreement is not followed. It is just a usage like that. I suggest that She sleep well today, not she sleeps well. Okay, I suggest that you sleep well. I suggest that she sleep well today. That suggest, insist, there are a few words like that which break the conventional grammatical rule. Okay, she insisted that she had paid for the meal. Insisted on and paid for the, insisted on paying for the meal would be okay. That is also correct. Insisted on paying for the meal, but not on and paid for the meal. Okay. Is it likely that the exam be postponed now that, see, that we do not know, Teshu. Okay. We really do not know about this. As same doubt all of you have in your mind, as of now, there is no such notification. Okay. That is all we can tell you. These kind of things, ICAI was postponed. See, till the day it is announced that there is a postponement, you go ahead and be prepared. Okay. Anything, I understand your uncertainty and your anxiety. We all share it, but we have to move forward as if the exam is on. Do not have second thoughts, don't have doubts in your mind ki anyway it's going to be postponed. That what if it is not, right? Anyway, preparing twice is not going to harm you. Right now you are gearing up for uh, the exam, right? Go full gear till we hear otherwise. It may or may not be postponed. What if things get better? We are all hoping for that, right? Hmm? So that is why we have this webinar happening today, in the hope that things will get back to normal. Okay, let us see. Fine. Okay, so the answer is insisted that she pay for the meal. Please understand this usage, okay? If you want, you can take a pic also so that you can look at it. The same thing for suggest. She always suggested that she pay for the meal. She suggested that she pay, or she suggested that I pay for the meal. Whatever it is, that is the usage with suggest also. Okay, fine. Now, yeah, question number 22, that is which, Indore 23. Okay, Indore 23 again. Let's see. When you play the Secret Santa, you are expected to buy a gift for whoever you are assigned, without letting them know that you are the one buying the gift. Okay, please look at this very carefully and give me the answer. Okay, excellent, guys. You're super quick with this. Okay, you play the Secret Santa and you are assigned someone to give the gift to. So you, let us say the person you are assigned is a boy. Okay, just for the purpose of using the pronoun, subject pronoun, object pronoun, I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, you are assigned, or no, assigned we don't need. You are, you give dash the gift. So the person is a boy. Hence, what pronoun will we use? You give him a gift. You give him the gift. Him is the object pronoun here. Now, if it is a question, we will say, whom did you give the gift to? Not who did you give the gift to. That is a very common mistake. You gave the gift to him. Who gave him the gift? You gave him the gift. Whom did you give it to? Okay. In casual American spoken English, they often uh, behave like they don't know whom at all, and that is why we all get confused. But whom is the object pronoun in the interrogative form, in the question form, or in when you point, I will not get too technical here, but when you point out to a person, then without letting them know, sorry, so you are expected to buy a gift for whom? For the person you are assigned, for whomever you are assigned, okay, not who you are assigned, not whoever you are assigned, not, okay, whom you are assigned is also fine, but whomever is a better expression here. Whom you are assigned is not wrong, but then here they have written it as whoever you are assigned. So it means it may be anybody. If you say whom, that sense of it being anybody will not come. Okay, fine, very good. Those who got other options, I hope you understood. D is not completely wrong, Akshara, but whomever you are assigned without letting them know you are the one buying the gift. So that whomever has the implication that it can be anyone. Okay, sometimes in these exams you get multiple correct options and you have to pick the best among multiple correct options. The best one is A. Okay, I hope you got it. Okay. IPM 23, Justin couldn't understand why his friend had refused to work in a company that offered him a huge salary. If it had been him in his friend's place, if it had been him, he would definitely accepted such an offer. Okay, easy. He would. Okay, he would. If it had been him, he would have, right? We last session, I think we spoke of what we call the impossible tense. It is, there is no such tense, but subjunctive mood it's called, but we can call it the impossible tense just for you to remember. That is something that did not happen, but we are imagining. Okay, so very good, guys. He would have definitely accepted such an offer. Here have gets repeated. He would definitely accept it does not make sense. He would have definitely accept is wrong. Easy one, right? An actual exam question. Yashraj, did you look at this question? Yeah, very easy question from IPMAT 23. I hope you saw this question. I'm sure you would have been able to solve this. So not all the grammar questions are very, very challenging. Okay, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Okay, now we have some vocab questions. Okay, fill in the blanks. Shall we quickly take a look at these questions? Vocab. Now, in IPM Indore, of late, they have been giving us multiple blanks like this, 3 blanks. Couple of years ago, they even gave 4 blanks. Okay, when you have multiple blanks, yes, you can look at each word, I mean, each blank and see what word fits in there. But once you have all your words, you also have to read the whole sentence together once, okay, just to make sure, because sometimes multiple options may fit into a particular blank, but when you read them all together, it has to make sense also. Okay. And dash found that. So all these words start with vowel sound. So on that basis, you cannot eliminate. It's and dash found that one of the marathon runners had dash slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and after dash to the one behind him had let him cross the finish line just 1 second before he did. Wow, he actually let somebody else win. Wow, I'm getting the answers here. Okay. So, how do we solve this question? Let us see. Let us see each option. there are multiple ways of doing this, but one quick way would be to take all the set of words, the entire set of words, and just put it there and see. An analysis found that one of the marathon runners had systematically slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and after waving to the one behind him, waving is okay, but systematically slowed down. He did it deliberately to help the other person, so that meaning should come. An overview found that. Overview is you get an overall picture. This is you're looking into a particular matters. Look into. I used a phrasal verb here. Okay. To investigate is to look into. So it cannot be overview. Purposely. Purposely it's not actually, we say that while speaking, you purposely did it. It is not really a good use. It's not proper usage. Okay. Purposely, purposefully has a slightly different meaning. Purposely, here I hear some people say wantedly. No, there is nothing called wantedly. Okay, these are all Indianisms. Fine. Yeah. Beckoning, and after beckoning to the one, that's okay, but these two words don't quite fit in. Okay. And investigation found that one of the marathon runners had deliberately, yes, deliberately, intentionally is also correct, slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and after signaling to the one behind him had let him cross the finish line. Why would they let someone else win? We do not know. Must be an extremely magnanimous, generous person. Okay. An appraisal. Appraisal, is a performance evaluation in companies, right? In organizations. That doesn't make sense here. Particularly slowed down. No. That also doesn't make sense. After speaking to the one behind him, is it possible in a marathon? We don't know all these things. But this overall doesn't make sense. So what is our answer? Answer is option C. Okay. Let us, okay, now we have all para questions. This is para completion. Before going to para completion, how did this come here? Let me see, okay. I thought more fill in the blanks were here. Did we leave out? Here. Let us do some fill in the blanks, the shorter questions. I'm following the same approach as I would advise you to follow in the exam. So shorter questions first, okay. Here we go. Question 27. In today's fast paced world, individuals are inundated with, flooded with information necessitating the cultivation of critical thinking skills in order to navigate the influx of the influx, right? Rapid, what do you say? Incoming data. Data keeps rapid flow. Influx of data dash, in order to navigate the influx of data in a certain manner. So it should be some kind of an adverb. Okay. Additionally, the prevalence of fake news and misinformation presents a dash challenge. What kind of challenge? Undermining people's trust in media and institutions. Promoting media literacy and cultivating a culture of skepticism, means doubt, okay, are vital for dash informed citizenship and democratic values. Okay. Anybody got the answer? Today's fast-paced world, individuals are inundated with information necessitating the cultivation of critical thinking skills in order to navigate the influx of data. Means you have very good, guys. Many of you have got the answer. You have information overload. You need to be very careful or wise. You need to use your judgment properly, right? So judiciously is okay. Judiciously means what? Judicious is not judicial. Okay, many students get confused. Judicious also means wise or sensible. Judiciously is okay. mm, Discerningly is okay. Discerning is also judicious. wise, you know what is right and what is wrong. Discreetly, secretly, not okay. Thoughtfully, thoughtfully, no. Thoughtful is when you make some thoughtful gesture. These two are okay so far. Now, if you look at additionally, the prevalence of fake news and misinformation presents a systematic challenge. Would you call a challenge systematic? Not really. Yeah, presents a pervasive challenge. Fine. Pervasive means it has spread everywhere. Hmm? So now let us read this option B and C. Undermining people's trust. Undermining is weakening people's trust in media and institutions, promoting media literacy and cultivating a culture of skepticism. Skepticism is doubt. Okay, questioning are vital for fostering. Fostering informed citizenship. Yes, fostering is cultivating. Can it be inhibiting? Inhibiting is preventing. We don't want to prevent democratic values, etc. So B is the answer. Some of you got the answer very fast. Good job. Okay. Can you take a look at this? Yeah. Please take a look at this. Why not thoughtfully? Yeah? Say thoughtful is not uh, doing something after thinking well, Kanak. Okay. Thoughtful is not do somebody that was a thoughtful gesture means what? It showed their care, okay, or concern. It was very thoughtful of you means it was very considerate of you, very kind of you. Okay, now doing something with a lot of thought is not thoughtful, Kanak. Okay, that is the reason why not thoughtfully. Got it? Yeah. If we take the thoughtfully option, then presents a holistic challenge is also not appropriate. Okay, holistic is normally a positive word. Comprehensive, okay, that is also not correct there. Fine. Yeah. Conspiracy theory, you know, right? When something happens, some people come up with ideas that this is a conspiracy, someone is behind this. That is called conspiracy theory. Okay, please look at the options. Wow, answers are coming in already. Let us see. Conspiracy theorists suggest that if climate change is slowly turning the planet into an oven, then this must have been the outcome of our enemies' intentional machinations. Okay, manipulation. Okay, not bad. Our enemies' intentional errors. Intentional errors on the part of our enemies doesn't make sense, no? Plotting, yeah, enemies plotting makes sense. Enemies intentional inaction doesn't really make sense here, right? A and C are fine so far. If there are no coincidences in the world, then everything including dash events can be controlled. What kind of events are we talking about? Extreme climate change, right? Outstanding events. Does that make sense? No, we are talking of something negative. Yeah. So catastrophic. Catastrophic is extremely destructive, which is extreme climate change. Then everything, including catastrophic events, can be controlled. It is only a matter of power and prowess. Prowess is um, power only, strength. Okay, strength or the ability to dominate. Everything else is okay except this outstanding here. Fine. Okay, let us do one, two, three, four blank question, and then we move on from this fill in the blanks. Okay, I just want you to give some practice in quickly doing this, and all of you are good. With respect to speed and accuracy, you're getting it. This is IPM 22, 4 blank question. Please take a look. Already got the answer. Wow, excellent. Hmm. solar system and the rest of the hmm, okay. Very good, guys. Yes, many of you got the answer. Achieving space flight enabled humans to begin to explore the solar system and the rest of the galaxy. Solar system and the rest of the what? Not the galaxy. Galaxy is our galaxy, right? Rest of the, let us see. To understand, universe, cosmos, both seem okay, right? Better than galaxy. To understand, but we can still see that also if you want. To understand the many objects and dash that are better observed. Ideologies, what ideologies can you observe in space so that we can rule out now? Uh, to understand the many objects and dash that are better observed from a space perspective. Phenomena, absolutely, that makes sense. Materials that are better observed from, probably not, right? Okay, did we look at this configuration instead of rest of the here? Configuration will not fit in. I hope, I don't know if I mentioned this, so that is ruled out. Okay, now we have B here, but C also we can examine a little more. So now do we need to read all these, guys? You have got the blank, you have understood the meaning. Don't bother to read each and everything, okay? All of these activities, discovery, scientific understanding, and the dash of that understanding to serve human purposes. What? Application, not principles of that understanding. That doesn't make sense. So we can decide on B. Let us check out the last blank. Are elements of space exploration. Here we spoke of space exploration, right? So that is the answer. I hope this doesn't need any more explanation. Now we have done a lot of fill in the blanks. There's one more. I'm not going to that. Okay. Mm, okay, word usage. Word usage is there in all IPMAT Indore exams. It has been, yeah, it has been appearing. So look at this. This is an actual question from last year, okay? What is the meaning of diffuse? The meaning of diffuse is to spread, right? To release a little by little or to spread. So please look at the use of diffuse. And tell me which sentence has used it wrongly. Very good, guys. Very smart. Okay. Many of you have got the answer. He used a fan to diffuse the smoke that had accumulated in the kitchen. So maybe it's an exhaust fan, right? To spread it as in to disperse, to diffuse it, to send it away. Okay, you understand what it means, right? Then, uh, every morning the aroma of freshly baked bread diffuses throughout the house. Yes, spread. You have all these fragrance diffusers, no? Nowadays, reed diffusers, which disperse the fragrance everywhere. Okay. Realizing that the argument between the two groups of students was getting out of control, the teacher diffused the situation. The teacher spreads the situation everywhere. That would be horrible, right? There is already an argument going on. What if the teacher were to spread it everywhere? So this is wrong. Can you tell me, can anyone tell me what is the right word here? What is the intended word here? Can somebody tell me? It is a word similar to diffuse, a homonym, a word that sounds the same. Very good. Diffuse. Excellent, Minisha. Diffuse. To take off the fuse. That is to sort of calm it down. Okay, to diffuse the situation. The stained glass diffuse the light filtering through the windows. Yes, that is also correct. Okay, so this is our incorrect one. Okay, one more word usage question. Easy one. IPM has been giving a mix of easy and difficult words. Okay, stay, 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 stay. Okay, take a look. Where has stay been used wrongly? You need to read the sentences properly. That is it. They do not give very, very heavy words. Okay, but uh, yeah. So again, Yashraj, I hope you are here. These kind of questions you can easily do, right? Grammar, you will not get so many. All these question types you can easily do. Okay, got got it already? C or D? What are your answers? I'm not able to make out what your answers are for this one. Are you saying C or D, guys? Hmm? During her summer holidays, please put your answers, okay? D, okay. She usually went to the village to stay with her grandparents, okay. You don't need to read the rest, you know it is correct. She said, I always stay awake late into the night. Do you need to read more? No. The ownership of the property went to the eldest son of the family, but the other siblings went to court and asked for a stay order. Haven't you heard of this? A stay order from the um, court. Stay order, okay? A stay order from the court is when something has been approved, then a stay order is to prevent that from happening. So the ownership of the property went to the eldest son, but the other siblings wanted a stay on that, means to hold that decision and then investigate it and maybe have a litigation or have a further trial, whatever it is. Okay. So that is called a stay order, court stay order. It is a correct usage, guys. Maybe you're not familiar with that usage. Due to the ban on slaughter of cattle, the neglected ones often stay away. Stay away is okay, but wandering into fields and eating the crops. So what are they staying away from? Excellent, Minisha. Stray away, stray away, right? They, due to the ban on slaughter of cattle, the neglected ones, they stray away, they walk away. Okay, stay away doesn't make sense there, hence this is the answer. Want to do one more? Huh? I think this question type, let us see what is the word here. Further, farther, and here grave, grave. I think let's take this. Further and farther may be a bit confusing. Let us take this. Okay. Yeah. Please take a look. Further is the next degree, next level, and farther refers to distance. Far, farther. It is a comparative degree of far. Keep that in mind and you will get the answer. You just need to take 2 seconds to think of what you're talking, what is the meaning, then you will get it. Okay. Okay. You're getting this, all of you. The politician was so flustered by the animosity. Animosity is enmity. Okay, vocab also you need enmity, of the crowd. Here, hatred. Okay, in this context, you can take it as hatred of the crowd, that he refused to answer further questions, any more questions. Correct. I live farther away from college than all my classmates. Correct. Far away compared to the others. If you need to further your career, you should avoid all kinds of distractions to take your career to the next level, not to take it very far away. You can say you have gone very far in your career, but here you don't say to further your career. Okay, to further your career. Further your career. Okay. We need to discuss this problem right away and avoid letting it fester any further. Fester is to uh, get more toxic or to worsen. Okay, so they have given farther and further in one of the sentences. The usage is wrong. That is a pattern here. That is the pattern. Okay, fine. Now let us go to. Okay, now what do we have? We have para formation, we have para completion, and we have RC. Okay, they have been giving both 4 sentence and 5 sentence para formations. Okay, shall we try one out? This is all over the place in 2 slides. I'm seeing if there is. I wanted one where all the statements are in one place so that you can all see this. Yeah. Okay. What do we need to do? You need to put the order. You need to type the numbers as your answer. Okay. Let us try this out. Located in the foothills of the Sion Fort, the lake. Which lake? So this is not the starting sentence. When you do a para formation, guys, you should look for a sentence while reading. An easy approach would be to eliminate all the sentences that cannot start the para. Okay, that is one thing. Secondly, once you start making sense of the sentences, you can look at what pattern it is coming to. Okay, one most common pattern in paragraphs typically is what I call general to specific. Please pardon my drawing, where the ideas flow from general to specific. Okay, the inverted pyramid. This is the most common pattern. So the starting sentence would be a topic sentence or a definition or the introduction of a problem, the introduction to the works of a person, etc. This is a very, very common pattern. We also can have another variation on this, which is the hourglass shape. I don't know to draw an hourglass, so let me draw it as some kind of geometrical figure, something like this. Okay, where you have a general introduction, then the specific statements, and then a general conclusion. These two are the most common patterns. Then occasionally we have some other patterns like this, specific to general, where the author decides to start with a very catchy sentence, a specific sentence like an example to catch everybody's attention, and then the sentences get more and more general. That is also possible, but this is the most common order followed by this. Okay, just keep that in mind. Confusing questions, I have only taken actual questions from the exam. Okay, I don't know what your name is, dear student, but I have only taken actual exam questions. Okay, so if you are asking me to do some confusing questions, I've taken most of the questions from the last few exams. and some of them are bound to be confusing. If you don't find any question confusing, that means you are really good at this, because we did get multiple answers in some of the questions. Yeah, but yes, para formation can be confusing. See, here we are getting multiple answers. So student, I don't know your name, LATH_FSK. Student, can you also try this question? We are already getting multiple answers here. Okay, I'm getting multiple answers for this question. So that means that it is a confusing question. No? Okay. 315254425 Okay. 51423. First, can we eliminate this order? Which should be our starting sentence? Let us see. Okay, located in the foothills of the Sion Fort, the lake. So this cannot be the starting sentence. Which lake? We don't know. Once home to several marine creatures, the lake. We don't know. That can't start. The municipal corporation is set to breathe life back into the city's Sion Talau with the rejuvenation and beautification of the centuries old lake. So this is our topic. This is likely to be our starting sentence. Over the years, the lake has lost its prominence. Again, the lake. Earlier, the Talau. No, somebody started with 5. We cannot start with 5. Okay. The Talau refers to the Sion Talau. So we have to have that sentence before 5. Okay. A natural water tank with the Sion hillock. Okay. So 3. After 3, what? Now, here it is set to breathe life back into the city. Most of you got 1 after 3. So why 1? Because yes, you are right. Where it is located, a description. Grade 2A heritage structure. Its importance, its location, its importance, etc. So far, so good. Now, what should we have? Should we have 2? Should we have 4? Should we have 5? We can't have 4 here because over the years the lake has lost its prominence. That we cannot say before saying that it was prominent. Right? So now we have 2 and 5. Let us see. Once home to several marine creatures, the lake is now surrounded by high-rise residential buildings. Okay. Here it says, earlier the Talau was a known natural water tank with the Sion hillock expanding around it like an enclosing wall. Now, here this is a positive sentence. Here it is going to negative, right? So what should be, and this sentence says, over the years the lake has lost its prominence. So what should we have next, guys? Should it be 5? Yes, that is what I am also asking. Shouldn't it be 5? Yes, guys, it should be 5. Okay, very good. Some of you got it. Because earlier the Talau was a known natural water tank. Here in 1, we talked about its historical significance or heritage structure. Then earlier it was a known natural water tank with the hillock expanding around it like an enclosing wall. Now, over the years, the lake has lost its prominence and once home to several marine creatures, the lake is now surrounded by high-rise residential buildings. This is an explanation of why of it having lost its prominence, or it is an illustration of it having lost its prominence. If we do 2, 4, this is very once home to several marine creatures. The lake is now surrounded by high-rise residential buildings. This is the proof that it has lost its prominence. So you say it has lost its prominence and then you give the example or you give the illustration. Okay. So 31542. Yes, absolutely. Para formation questions. The student who asked me, can you do some confusing questions? LATH_FSK. Can you give me your name, please? And I hope you are here. See the confusion in this question? Yeah. So if you did not find it confusing, probably you were sure of the answer. That's a good thing. But yes, these are the actual questions. I think vocab and grammar were relatively easy. That is why you felt everything was straightforward. Now comes the confusion. That is also why I did not do these questions in the beginning. Very good, guys. Good attempt. So, guys, do one thing, okay? Para formation questions you keep to the end. Those who are okay with reading comprehension may want to go for para questions even after reading comprehension. That depends on your reading speed. If you are, IPM passages are not that heavy usually. So if you are relatively okay with reading, I would suggest here I can see the confusion. So don't attempt these questions right away, I would say. Okay, can we do this? I want to do more of para questions to give you practice. Take a deep breath, relax, and do this question. Okay? I will not read it out for you. See, the Central African Republic has approved Bitcoin. They have not mentioned the country here. So they are talking of some Central African Republic. Okay? If they had mentioned the country, then we would have to look for which country it is. But here they have not mentioned it. So they are trying to confuse us deliberately. Okay. Some Central African Republic. Okay. So please take your time, take a deep breath, relax, and do this question. Then we'll discuss. Yeah. Logic is what matters in this question type. Okay. Idea flow. How are the ideas flowing? You put yourself in the author's shoes and try to think of the logic behind using certain words and certain expressions. It's pure logic. Hmm? Once you're ready, you can put your answers here. Okay. Shall I put all the answers? Oh, wow. Nice. Okay. I got one answer here. Okay. If there are more answers, 1423, 1432. Okay. More answers? Please give me your answers, guys. You know, the more the merrier for para questions. Okay. The more answers we have, uh, I will be able to expose all the flaws in your thinking. Okay. Because whatever, I mean, there is nothing called wrong answer here. Whatever you have thought of, you have a logic behind that, right? So I will be able to tell you what is wrong with that particular logic. Okay. 1432, 1423 plus 1, 1423 plus 2. Okay. Any more answers? Any more answers here? Good job, guys. Excellent. Everybody came very, very close. Most of you got the right answer. 1423. Excellent. Excellent. So let us quickly see why not 1432. Okay. 1432 is very, very close actually. I also had to give it some thought. The Central African Republic has approved Bitcoin as an official currency. Okay, fine. That is the topic. Then we come to the criticism. Actually, nobody got two as the second sentence. What do we specifically look for with these? Like I told you, na Minisha, sorry, there is no formula or no rule, unlike in quant. Okay, unlike in quant, when it comes to English, especially verbal questions, there is no rule. In grammar, we have rules. Here, there are no rules, but common sense is what you need. That is all. Okay, and certain patterns of idea flow, like I said, what is the more general topic, what is the more specific sentence, then what are the connected sentences, rather, are there any connecting words? Sometimes we have something called mandatory pairs. Mandatory pairs are sentences that cannot be separated, they stick together. Okay, like Siamese twins, they stick together because there may be, let us say, a pronoun like they said that, so who said, or it is the reason, what is the reason, so these will form mandatory pairs. Sometimes it is just the idea flow, how the author is building up a topic. Okay, this move makes the difference. What this move, the sentence this move there. Criticized this move. Yes, absolutely correct. Excellent. Okay, because the Central African Republic has approved Bitcoin as an official currency, economists criticized this move as a potential risk to the financial. Very good observation, Kanak. Okay, then, so why not experts foresee that this will damage? Because like you said, first of all, this move. Secondly, from a very English angle, from a grammatical angle, this is has approved and this is in the past tense. Economists criticized this and the remaining sentences are in the present tense. That also shows the idea flow. Okay. Uh, Not only, but also, Yukta, I didn't understand what you meant by that. Yeah, may also. Is this what you mean? Not only, but also. Okay, you're looking at the logic. Very good. I got it now. You are saying that this one, right? Probably. Okay, now 1, 4. After that, we have 2 and 3. Now, economists criticize this move as a potential risk to the financial stability of the nation. Then these two others claim that this may make money laundering easy and also use up a lot of electricity. Who are these others? Money laundering and using up a lot of electricity, it is not strictly economics, right? So, experts foresee that this will damage the environment as well as the economy. Others claim that. Others can refer to other experts. It can also refer to other people. Okay. Hence, 1423 is slightly more logical than 1432. Okay. Fine. 1423 is the answer. Good job. Now, you want to do one more? One more para formation and then quickly RC. Okay, that's it. Yeah. We have some para completion questions with a blank. Now that question is, once you do para formation, para jumble, it is more or less the same. And I think we did para completion in the last session also. One more para formation to give you some extra practice. Yeah. Okay. Shall I do this with you? If you already got the answer, you can tell me. Okay, just to make it a little quicker, I'm doing this with you. Fine. In this microgravity environment, this is also from last year. Okay, in this microgravity environment, your blood also tends to move towards the heart and head. So I've marked these to show that these indicate this may not be the first sentence, right? Okay. Yeah. Both effects. So we have two effects here. Both effects are only short-lived, and after a brief period of readjustment on arriving back home, the heart and spine return to normal. Fine. The heart interprets this as an increase in the amount of blood in the body and that it needs to pump less, so it shrinks. So none of these can start the para. Our para starter is 4. If any of you got the answer, you can put it. Okay. In space, so let us read the starter first properly. Okay, I have got an answer here. 4132. Let me put this here. 4132. Let us see. Okay. In space, with less gravitational force than on Earth, there is less pressure on your spine, and so it will get a bit longer. Okay, effectively making you as much as 2 inches taller. Okay, in space with less gravitational force, there is less pressure on your spine, and so it will get a bit longer, effectively making you as much as 2 inches taller. Fine. Then 4132. Give you a short break. User UDH, I don't know your name. Yes, I will give you a short break after one more question set, which is reading comprehension. Okay, because our session is only 2 hours. No, I will not take the entire 2 hours. After we do reading comprehension, you will get a 5 to 10-minute break before we start quant. Okay, are you fine with that? Okay, so what I've got here is 4132 and 4123. Sorry, 4123. Okay, let me see. Let us see which one is correct. Let us build the logic here. So, yeah, in this microgravity environment, here what happens? Your spine becomes longer. In this microgravity environment, your blood also tends to move towards the heart and head. You're absolutely right. Okay, so that is the other effect. Now, if you say both effects are only short-lived, before that there is an explanation of one, yeah. So you can't miss that, right? The heart interprets this as an increase in the amount of blood in the body, interprets the flow of blood towards the heart as an increase in blood supply, and that it needs to pump less, so it shrinks. Okay, there are two phenomenon here, 1 2, then the two phenomena here, 1 and 2, and then the impact of 1 is continued in 3, and then both these effects are only short lived. 4 1 3 2. Excellent. Okay, both these phenomena, that is the concluding statement, that it will come back to normal. So after explaining the phenomena, you say it will come back to normal. Now that's only logic, right? Okay, makes sense? Good job, guys. Let us do one RC, and then a student here, user, has asked for a break. I know break will be the end of the English session. Okay. For a change, let us take a passage from IPMAT 21, because this passage from I have two passages here, but the passage from IPMAT 24 is easier than the one in 21 overall. Okay, so I think this is a little, for most students, this will be a little tougher. Shall we quickly read this? So when you read reading comprehension passage, guys, do not forget to read the entire passage before picking your answers. Okay, don't try to pick the answers before reading the passage. Our students, time students know this, but for others also, please remember. Fine. So let's quickly read the passage. You can skim through the passage. You don't need to read it like word by word, but you need to understand overall. Okay. From ancient Rome up to the Victorian era, a training in logic and rhetoric was meant to help. Rhetoric is the science of logical arguments. Okay, I will not explain word by word because that you cannot afford to do in the exam. Meant training was meant to help privileged young men, rich young men, recognize spurious arguments and facts. Fake, spurious is fake. Times have changed, but contemporary Italy is determined that its youth are prepared as their ancient counterparts were to engage with the present day version of the forum, social media. Forum here refers to ancient debates, even if you don't know from the context, you know. So in Italy, Italy wants to make sure that its youth are prepared to engage with debates in the social media, right? At the end of October, 8,000 Italian schools will teach their students how to spot fake news through a program developed with the help of journalists as well as tech giants Google and Facebook. In Israel, the University of Haifa is launching a course titled Fake News. Okay, very interesting passage, right? Okay. Anything to explain here? So, earlier in ancient Rome and in the Victorian era, young people were taught to recognize fake arguments and actual facts, and the same thing is happening in many places in the context of social media. The purpose of these courses is to ensure that public debate, particularly during election campaigns, is not hijacked by vested interests, people with selfish specific motives. Okay, so you know how things are in election campaign, the discussions are hijacked by political interests. So, if the people are educated and aware, it cannot happen. Since the US presidential election in 2016, the specter of Russia and its use of on specter is like what? You can say problem in simple words, or shadow. Okay, of Russia and its use of online propaganda has loomed large over public discourse in the West. So, how Russia uses online propaganda to influence global opinions. Okay. In other parts of the world too, doctored images, doctored, you know, in today's world, you know what it is, right? Fake, uh, and blatant lies, open lies, have been published by news websites. Why news is in quotation? They call themselves news websites, but they are not really news. They are spreading false propaganda. Please notice all these cues. Given the speed with which information is shared online, the damage is already done by the time a fake story is exposed. Okay, by the time people understand that a story is fake, the damage is already done because it spreads very fast. The speed. The voters of tomorrow certainly need to be armed with the ability to sift. Sift is to filter. Okay, bare facts from motivated fiction. The voters of tomorrow, because social media is getting more and more powerful. The effects of social media on the formation of opinion, however, go far beyond fake news. So, till now, they were only talking about how social media leads to fake news. Now they are saying it goes far beyond fake news. Traditional or legacy media means classic media, is ordered by a need for balance. Okay, it is ordered means there is some order there, or it is ruled by a need for balance. Traditional media, a newspaper for example, has sections that deal with politics, crime, sports, the arts, et al here means etc. There is, at least in principle, an attempt to tell both sides of a story in each report. Yes, traditional media, that's the way it has functioned, right? A traditional newspaper has to have these sections, and it should try and maintain balance. That's the way it has tried to function all these years. On social media, the only editor is the user herself. We are the editors, means nobody is editing what they're putting on social media. They'll put their opinions, right? Blatantly. We have to do the editing. Hmm? Algorithms ensure that people see more of what they like, that biases are reinforced rather than countered. Yes, if you like something or if you express a tendency to look for a certain kind of news, then you are likely to see more of that. You all know that. And if you are biased towards a particular kind of news and you keep checking that kind of news, you will get more of that in your prompts, right? You all know this better than us. Fake news is certainly a crucial aspect of online propaganda, but for young citizens to form opinions based on multiple viewpoints, they need to consciously seek out more than they are comfortable with. Okay, so here social media tends to feed your biases by giving you more of what you want. But in a global scenario, if you want to form proper opinions, you need to expose yourself to multiple viewpoints, including those you're not comfortable with. Easy, easy peasy. Let us go to the questions. You tell me the answers, okay? When in doubt, you need to go and check the passage. The writer of the passage suggests that the purpose of education in early times was very different from what it is now. There are similarities in the aims of education in early times and those of today. The purpose of education in early times was to help students attain a position of privilege. As times have changed, the basis of education has expanded. You guys tell me, guys, the answer. I will only take you here. Hmm? From ancient Rome up to the Victorian era, training in logic and rhetoric was meant to help people recognize fake arguments and facts. Times have changed, but contemporary Italy is determined that its youth are as prepared as those people. And also, is in Israel, the University of Haifa is launching a course titled Fake News. Here also, what was the idea? To train people train people to recognize fake arguments and facts. Now you tell me. You tell me. The purpose of education in early times was very different from what it is now. Can we infer that? Can we infer that? Why is everyone silent suddenly? Reading comprehension. Okay. The faster you give answers, the sooner we can wind up and go to the next session, quant session. Okay. I know you're waiting for a quant session. Come on, answers. Can we give one? Can we take one? Purpose of education was very different. How can we infer that? The passage does not mention anything. Okay, I'm getting the answers. Very nice. There are similarities in the aims of education in early times and those of today. That we can infer indeed, but we need to see if there is a better answer. In these exams, there can be multiple correct answers, multiple partially or potentially correct answers. From that, you have to pick the most correct answer. This we can infer, right? Aim of education those days was to distinguish between fake and real. Here also many countries are doing it. Okay, let us shortlist this. The purpose of education in early times was to help students attain a position of privilege. Who said that? To teach privileged students to do something. Rule out. As times have changed, the basis of education has expanded. Can we infer this from the passage? You can't pull out things from your head. We know that the basis of education has expanded. The only reason the passage mentions education is to compare and bring out the similarities between the past and the present. Logic. Fake news, fake news. Hence, B is the answer. Okay. B is the answer. D is not within the scope of the passage. Okay. So, this, yeah. Fine. So I can see the student who asked for confusing options here. I hope you understood, right? Here we have confusing options indeed. Okay. Question 8. The passage points out that an important difference between traditional media and social media is that. What is the difference between traditional media and social media according to the passage? Does it say social media reaches more people? Does the passage say it reaches more people specifically? It talks about this speed, yes, but it does not say it reaches more people. Please check if you are not sure. Speed is mentioned, more people is not mentioned. Okay, I'm getting answers already, I think. Wonderful. Any more answers? Please put your answers. Traditional media tries to present different points of view. Has it mentioned that? Yes. Here, ordered by a need for balance. It has different sections and there is an attempt to tell both sides of the story in each report. Definitely, that has been mentioned. Social media is more balanced, straight away, rule out, right? It is easier to spread fake stories through traditional media. Through traditional media, no, also rule out. Between A and B, A is also not mentioned. B is the answer. Easy, right? You just need to see what is mentioned. Very good, guys. All of you got the answer. Excellent. Excellent. Next. Yeah. Social media is dangerous in its ability to influence opinion in readers through its choice of news items which are presented, its balanced reporting of wide ranging stories, its ability to guide the reader to motivated conclusions, the creation of interest by using dubious facts. What is the right answer here? Let us see. Here, this is where they are talking about this, right? But here also, yes, doctored images, blatant lies have been published. Then here, what are they saying? On social media, the only editor is the user herself. Algorithms ensure that people see more of what they like, that biases are reinforced rather than countered. Fake news is certainly a crucial aspect of online propaganda for young citizens. Okay, fine. So, what is the problem here? That there is no editing, and you can any fake news is also effects of social media go far beyond fake news. So there is one aspect is fake news, and beyond fake news, there is also this thing of propagating biases. So let us see. Dangerous in its ability to influence opinion readers through its choice of news items can be eliminated. Yeah, its balanced reporting of wide ranging stories definitely eliminate. Its ability to guide the reader to motivated conclusions or the creation of interest by using dubious facts. They are not saying that social media forces you to make certain conclusions. That is not what it is saying, but it creates your interest using fake news, dubious facts, and that is the main point here. Hence, D is the answer. You can see C is also pretty close, but it doesn't say it wants you to make certain conclusions. It guides you to certain types of news, and that can be fake also. Hence, D is the better answer. Okay. Very, very easy question. Give me your answer without even checking the passage. Vested interest means Hidden purposes, popular interest, self-serving intentions, or profitable motives? I will go to the passage, but before that, if you give me the answer, it's even better. Vested interest, para 2. Where was vested interest, guys? I cannot remember where vested interest was. There. The purpose of these courses is to ensure that public debate, particularly during election campaigns, is not hijacked by vested interests. What is the meaning? Vested interest means not hidden purpose. It need not be hidden. Popular interest? No. Self-serving intentions, right? Vested interests are here in this context the intentions of specific political parties. So self-serving intentions, profitable or not, we don't know. They may get into trouble also ultimately. Hence, self-serving intentions. Excellent. Antonym for spurious. Spurious we saw is fake. So antonym for spurious, antonym, not synonym, is, tell me, inferior means something that is below, right? Opposite of superior. Incisive, very good. You already gave, all of you have got the answer. Incisive is piercing, sharp, okay, going deep. Dubious is doubtful, suspicious, sus in your generation's language. Genuine. Genuine is the opposite of fake or spurious. And last question. The writer of the passage calls social media the present day version of the Roman Forum because it is a space for the Roman Forum. They haven't mentioned Roman actually, they've just called it Forum. But why have they called it? In what context have they called it? Let us see. Social media, they have called the modern version of forum. Yeah, where was that? Yeah, here. Here. Times have changed, but contemporary Italy is determined that its youth are prepared, as their ancient counterparts were, to engage meaningfully with the present day version of the forum, which is social media. Here, training in logic and rhetoric was meant to help privileged young men recognize spurious arguments and facts. Okay. So now in this context, why is he calling it a version of the forum? Because it is a space for carrying out political propaganda only, discussing ideas, nurturing political ambitions, or spreading spurious arguments. What is the answer here? Carrying out political propaganda alone? Can we eliminate that? Nurturing political ambitions, can we eliminate? Whose ambitions? They're not talking of any of that. Between B and D, you guys have put D for the previous question. I think for this question, writer of the passage called social media the present day version of the Roman Forum because it is a space for discussing ideas or it is a forum for spreading spurious arguments. Can you say its intention is to spread spurious arguments? You have to recognize good ideas and bad ideas, right? That doesn't mean that social media is a forum for spreading wrong ideas or fake ideas. It is a forum for discussing ideas, and in the discussion, you will see good and bad. Correct? Hence, the similarity between the Roman Forum and the social media is that both are avenues for discussing ideas. The answer is B. Okay, guys? Yeah, that brings us to the end of the questions here. I have a few tips for you before we move on to quant. Okay? And like a student suggested, we will give you a short break also. Yeah? Any questions for me in the meanwhile while I run you through the tips? Some of these tips we already discussed during the session. If you have any questions for me in the meanwhile, quickly put them in the chat box, okay? So you saw how we went about the session today. As I told you several times today, please look for questions that you are most comfortable with. For majority of the students, the shorter questions are the ones they are more comfortable with. So fill in the blanks are usually very easy. If you don't know a word, you don't know that word and you can leave it. Otherwise, they are very, very easy. Idioms and phrases, vocabulary, and grammar. Okay, grammar, couple of you told me that that is a problem area. Those students can keep it for the end. Okay, then when you go through these questions also, no, quickly mark the ones that you are sure of. The ones that you are not very sure of, don't just put inky pinky ponky there. Okay, please don't do that, because it has negative marking, right? So you can hold those questions there, mark them for review, hold them, quickly mark the ones you are very confident of. Hmm? This applies to all sections actually. Then para questions and RC need time, but don't just skip them just because you don't have time. You have to budget your time wisely right from the beginning of the section. Yes, yes, you will get a 10-minute break. 2 seconds, I'll finish this and then you will get a 10-minute break, I promise. I know it is strenuous. You will get a 10-minute break before the quant session. Okay. Yeah. So do not just blindly decide I will skip RC or I will skip para. Why? Because guys, you don't know whether there will be difficult questions in vocabulary or grammar, right? So if you start with a strategy saying I will only do vocab and grammar, what if those questions are very tough and you have easy RC questions? You saw today RC is not very tough, right? So don't blindly decide I will do only this. Okay, then revisit the passage when the options are confusing. That we saw, I demonstrated how we do that. And yes, don't take any blind guesses. While you do need a certain number of attempts, you do need a high number of attempts. Don't take blind guesses. It is better to leave a question than end up with negative marks. Okay, that's it. So next session is quantitative ability. We will have a 10-minute break and then move on to the quantitative ability session. Okay. Thank you guys. Stay tuned. The session will start soon. Okay. Thank you everybody. All the very best. Do your best. Okay. Fine.
Hello everyone. I hope I am audible. All right, I am audible. Okay. So let's get started. So you're just done with the verbal part of the test. We shall be taking up the quantitative ability part. So if any of you have attended the session last week, so you would recall that what exactly did we do there? We discussed some of the previous year papers, and there were some questions which were in the IPM Rohtak, IPMAT Rohtak paper, which were based on what we have discussed. Like there were, I could see one or two questions based on that. So that way it was pretty helpful. Let's hope the same for this IPMAT Indore too. So let's get started. So this is the QA part, quantitative ability part. So in today's session, I have close to 15 questions for discussion. So towards the end of the session, I would also be, as was done in the case of verbal ability, would be giving you some tips with respect to quant part. So for example, sometimes even if someone has even if someone has little bit of lesser knowledge, but the person has good strategy, less knowledge but good strategy, this might result in good result. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that don't try to have good knowledge. If you will have great knowledge, good knowledge, it's even better. But even with average knowledge, but with good strategy, you may do really, really well as far as the test is concerned. So, from that point of view, the last minute tips I believe would be relevant, would be important. So, we'll just continue with the session now. We'll start. So, I'll be showing you questions one after the other. Now, for each question, they're all independent questions here. For each question, I would be giving you close to 1 to 2 minutes. Try it out, and then we shall discuss the question. So this is your very first question. Try it out and tell me the answer. So this is from your PNC. In case you have realized it already, try it out, please. Okay. Okay, we've got a couple of answers. Very close, but Navya, I think you're right. Is the answer 10? Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Let's get started. Let's discuss this problem. So the problem says there are 5 parallel lines on a plane. So suppose the parallel lines as follows. Second line, third, fourth, and fifth. There are 5 lines that we have like this. And there are n other lines which are perpendicular to this 5 parallel lines. So n lines suppose are like this. First line, second line, third line, fourth line, so on, nth line. N minus 1 and nth line like this. If the number of distinct rectangles formed by these lines is 360. Now, by the way, how do we form a rectangle here? So for forming a rectangle, which is of this shape, we naturally need 2 horizontal lines, and also we need 2 vertical lines, right? So whenever you select 2 horizontal lines, along with that you select 2 vertical lines, you will get one specific, one distinct rectangle. So here, how many horizontal lines are there? There are 5, the yellow ones. So in how many ways can we select 2 horizontal lines? So can I say number of ways of selecting 2 horizontal lines will be 5C2. Out of 5 you may select any 2. Along with this, as you select the horizontal lines, you must also select two vertical lines. Now, how many vertical lines do we have? We have n. You have to select any two. It could be done in NC2 ways. So thus the number of rectangles we may say is nothing but phi C2 into NC2, which is given to be as 360. Yes, this is what is the equation, correct? Now, what is phi C2? I hope we know the formula. The formula for NCR is n factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial. That's the formula that we have. Now, if you apply the formula for phi C2, you would get the value as phi C2 is phi into 4 by 2 into 1. When you apply the formula, you'll get this kind of expression. Into NC2 is n into n minus 1 upon 2 into 1. This is equal to 360. When you solve this, 5 into 2 is 10. 10 will cancel out 36 times. Into 2 will make it n into n minus 1 equals 72. Now, think of two natural numbers which are consecutive. These two are consecutive, whose product is 72. Think of two consecutive numbers whose product is 72. Can we guess the numbers are 8 and 9? I'm talking about natural numbers, not just any integers, because even minus 8 into minus 9 will give you the same result, 72, but negative value is of course not allowed for n. So can I say by observation the two integers will be 8 and 9? So hence by direct comparison, can I say the value of n has to be 9? Or alternately, you solve it. How do we solve it? N square minus n minus 72 equal to 0. Factorize it, you will get n minus 9 into n plus 8 equal to 0. When you solve it, you will get n equal to 9 or minus 8. Of course, minus is not possible, so hence the value of n is 9. See, this is one point I would like to mention as one of the tips. We will of course be covering several other points later, but one of the tips is don't always go for the conventional approach. If you can solve a question by some unique approach, like maybe option elimination, or maybe substituting back the options, right, or maybe doing bit of guesswork and getting to the result, for example here, please go for that if there is a shorter one, because we are in class and school generally trained to do it this way, the conventional way. You should sometimes go away from it. I hope this question was clear. Sorry. Now let's move on to second question. Question number 2. Again, I'll give you around 1 to 2 minutes time. Try it out. Very good. Many people got the correct answer. Navya, Minisha, and Kanak. These are all old questions, actual IPM Indore questions, as you can see in the reference given under the question. So sometimes they tend to repeat the concepts or the questions also sometimes by changing the numbers here and there. So that way, just revisiting the old questions could be beneficial for the student. Okay, we'll start with this. Let us see how do we solve this. It is given that the sequence xn satisfies x1 equal to 0 and xn plus 1 is equal to xn plus 1 plus 2 into square root of 1 plus xn. So basically the series is like this. Observe, if you look at these two numbers together, if I put it as the previous number, right, or some k, xn is the previous number. So xn plus 1, if I put it as k, so can I say xn plus 1 is given to be as k plus 2 times root k, isn't it? That's how it is, right? If you know xn plus 1, sorry, if you know xn, you can very well find out xn plus 1 from this particular expression where k is xn plus 1. So here it is given to us that x1 is equal to 0. So let's do one thing. In this equation, substitute n equal to 1. Let's see what do we get. So if you substitute n equal to 1, what do we get? Xn plus 1, which will be 1 plus 1, 2, will be equal to x1 plus 1 plus 2 into root 1 plus x1. Now we know x1 is 0, so this will eventually become 0 plus 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 0, which is 1. So 1 plus 2 will become 3. So that means now I know x2 is 3. Now if x2 is 3, what can we say about x3 using the same equation? So if I put n equal to 2 here in this equation, see what happens. x2 plus 1, which is x3, will be equal to x2 plus 1 plus 2 into square root of 1 plus x2. So this is 3 plus 1, 4 plus 2 into 1 plus 3, which will be root 4. So this is also going to be 2. So 2 into 2, 4 plus 4 is going to be 8. Something like this. Next, let's go little direct now. x4 will be what? The previous number plus 1. So 9 plus 2 into square root of this 9. Isn't it? Xn plus 1 plus 2 into square root of the same xn plus 1. So this is going to give us what? This is 3 into 2, 6 plus 9, 15. Let's continue. What will be x5? Previous number plus 1 plus 2 into square root of previous number plus 1, 16, which will give us what? 2 into 4, 8. 8 plus 16 is 24. Now tell me, do you realize or observe something here? Is there a pattern that is generated? Do we have a pattern here? Please observe. I'll just try to highlight the pattern. You know that x1 is 0. That's given. x2 is 3. x3 is 8. x4 is 15. x5 is 24. Now if you look at it, all these numbers are very close to perfect squares. So basically these numbers plus 1 is a perfect square. 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 square, x2, 2 square. 8 plus 1 is 9, 3 square, x3, 3. 15 plus 1 is 16, 4 square, x4. 24 plus 1 is 25, 5 square. Right? So can we say, generalize and say, xn in general, by this observation, if we continue like this, we can also prove it. Xn is going to be, can I say, n square minus 1. x5 is 5 square minus 1. x4 is 4 square minus 1, so on. So xn will be n square minus 1. He's asking us for what? x31. Can we say x31 then will be nothing but 31 square minus 1. 31 square we should all know is 961. So hence the answer is 960. Okay. So the answer here is going to be 960. So some of you have got it right. Purva, Navya. I hope people who haven't got it right have understood why they have missed the answer. Right. Okay. Let's move on. Now the third question. So this is from your graphs area. So again around 1 to 2 minutes. Try it out. let us begin. Let's begin with this. So the question says the area enclosed by this particular inequation, which would of course translate to a graph here, is how much? So let's try to figure that out. So for figuring it out, let's do the following. Now this particular inequation has a modulus in it, in that particular inequation, as you can see, and modulus behaves differently based on whether the sign of the variable inside the mod is positive or negative. So for example, if x is negative, then this mod x will become minus x, right? And if x is non-negative, greater than or equal to 0, then mod x will become simply x. So let's focus on that. So can we say that particular inequation, if you take it in the first quadrant, quadrant 1, where both x and y are positive, so can I say the inequation will simply translate to in q1. So in q1, what will it become? It will be 2x plus 3y less than or equal to 6. First, let's try to plot the line 2x plus 3y equal to 6 before we plot this inequality. So when you plot 2x plus 3y equal to 6, what do we get here? So the x intercept will be obtained by putting y equal to 0, that's 3 comma 0, and y intercept will be obtained by putting x equal to 0, which is 0 comma 2. So this is the line that we have in the first quadrant, and we want this inequation. Now this particular inequation, can I say, so this line if you'll see is dividing the quadrant 1 into two parts, the above part and the below part. Now here, should I take the above part or the below part will be decided by the origin test. Now what do you mean by origin test? I hope we know that. So substitute the origin in this inequality and see if it satisfies or not. So if you substitute origin, 2x plus 3y, 2 into 0 plus 3 into 0, 0 less than or equal to 6, it satisfies. Hence, it would be the below region, this region. So 2x plus 3y less than or equal to 6 would be represented by the shaded area, you can say. Now similarly, if you look at quadrant 2, what will happen in quadrant 2? In quadrant 2, your x is negative, y is positive. So that means this inequation will change as mod x will become minus x, mod y will become y. So here, how would this graph look now? So first let's consider the line again. So minus 2x plus 3y equals 6. So the x intercept will be obtained by putting y equal to 0. So x intercept is going to be minus 3 comma 0, and y intercept is going to be same, 0 comma 2. And similarly, when you apply the origin test, you shall get this below region. Now one may guess in the third quadrant, this inequation will be like this, and this region will be considered. See, once you get two of the regions, the other we can easily figure out. In the fourth quadrant, it would be like this. So it would be a closed polygon, all right? It's a quadrilateral actually, closed figure that we'll get finally. Now, what is its area is asking us. So finding area of this particular quadrilateral, it's a rhombus, if you'll see. Can we say this triangle that I'm highlighting will be identical to this triangle, which in turn is identical to the third triangle and the fourth triangle. All are having equal areas. What will be area for this triangle? So can we say the area for this triangle will be base is 3, half into base into height is 2. So this is 0 comma 2. So this is area of one such triangle. We have 4 such triangles. So into 4. So when you solve this, 4 into 3, we'll get our answer as 12 square units. So the answer is going to be 12 square units. Similarly, we can decide what will happen to Q3, what will happen to Q4, and accordingly go on drawing the diagrams. All right, I hope we are clear with this. So for such questions, if you have something like A mod x plus B mod y less than or equal to C, suppose. So here, for what is the area enclosed by this region, if we ask you, there is a direct formula for this. The formula is, the required area is 2 into C square by A into B, of course inside the mod, to ensure that we never get a negative answer. So for example, if I apply the same formula here, A is 2, B is 3, and C is 6. So what will be the formula giving us? So this formula will be giving us 2 into C square by A into B. So when we solve this, 2 into 36 by 6, 6 will go 6 times, you'll get your answer as 12, the same answer that we got. So you can make note of this particular formula. If at all you see a question like this, you can save some time there. Or you could do half D1, D2, no problem, yes. Next one, question number 4. Try this out. 2 minutes. This one is a very interesting problem. So I hope you have, some of you have cracked it. Let us go for this. Let's see how do we solve this question. Okay. So this question says a new sequence is obtained from the sequence of positive integers 1, 2, 3, so on. Right. When he says positive integers, the sequence will be like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and so on, like this. This will continue. Now, all right, there was some technical glitch, so we are back now. So this is a series, and here just visualize what would happen if I remove all the perfect squares. Let's do that. So for example, right now I have 17 terms, right? And if you notice, right till 17, I have 4 perfect squares in between: 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, and 4 square. As per the given question, if I delete all of them, what would happen? So I have to delete this, 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 and this. So that means if I'm counting till 17 or writing till 17, I would only write, please notice how many terms will I write? Actually till 17 you have 17 terms. Actually till 17 you have 17 terms, but how many terms are we actually writing? We are not writing all the 17 as per the given question. We are writing 4 less, right? Now why 4 less? Because we had 4 perfect squares which were less than or equal to 17. Likewise, imagine if I continue like this till 25. 18, 19, 20, 24, 25. Exactly 25. So ideally, if I want to write all the terms, I will write 25 terms, right, overall. But if I want to get away with all the perfect squares, then I should remove 25 also. So then how many terms will I write here? Of course, I'll not write 25. I would write 24. So hence the number of terms that I'll have here will be 20. 25 minus 5, 20. So this is how, by eliminating the perfect square when you're writing a new sequence, your terms would be determined accordingly. How many perfect squares are you removing? So based on that, you would decide how many terms will you be writing. Now in this particular question, he's asking us, if he's writing the series by deleting all the perfect squares, then what is going to be 20 second term? What is going to be 20 second terms? For example, here, what is going to be 13th term was the question. So how do I decide 13th term? So I need to realize, when you're going till 13, writing till 13, how many perfect squares will you eliminate? So probably you'll eliminate 1, 4, 9 also. 16 will I eliminate? Probably yes. Why? Because if I eliminate even 3, I should have gone till 16, 13 plus 3. So that means 16 will also be eliminated. So that means, so if I am asking you what will be 13th term of the sequence, I would get the answer by adding 4 to it. Understand? He's giving us 22nd term. He's asking us 2022 term, kya hai? What will it be? So imagine if I ask you what is going to be my 13th term. So my answer is not going to be 13, right? Because I would have got this term, 13 terms, after removing some perfect squares. How many perfect squares? 4 perfect squares. And hence can I say my answer, 13th term is going to be 17, we can say. Similarly, if I ask you what is going to be 20th term, what is going to be 20th term? If I write by removing all the perfect squares, so just calculate, I would have removed 1, 4, 9, 16 also, that means 4 perfect squares. So if I add 4, for example, so say if I tell you 24 would be the number that I'm looking at, clearly this would be wrong, because you would have removed 4 terms in between, right? 4 terms in between. What are those terms? So the terms are 1, 4, 9 and 16, and hence this number should go beyond 24. So that means I will not be eliminating 4 terms but 5 terms. I will be eliminating 5 terms, and hence my answer will be not 24 but 25, like this. Similarly, he's asking us what is going to be 22nd term. Now for that, I'm just cleaning all of this. For 22nd term, I need to realize how many perfect squares would I have cancelled out. So let's observe. So 22nd tak, how many perfect squares do we have? 1 square is there, 2 square is there, 3 square is there, 40 square, 1600 is there, 44 square, 1936. That is also there clearly. 45 square, 2025. That's very close. That will be there. That will be there, because we have eliminated so many terms. So of course 22nd term will include 2025. Will 2025 will also come? We will be eliminating that. So that will also be there. But what about 46 square? So if you go for 46, it's 2116. So this probably won't be there, because almost 100 terms are there. The difference is almost 100. We don't have 100 perfect squares. So thus can I say here, for writing this 2022nd term till 2022nd term, I would have eliminated 45 perfect squares. And if I remove 45 perfect squares, what will be the number here? So my 22nd term will be nothing but 2022 plus how many perfect squares have we removed? 45, and hence the answer, the correct answer is 2067. I hope the logic is clear to us. We need to figure out, for writing this particular series till 2022 term, how many perfect squares are you getting rid of. So I'm saying in this case, till you're writing 22nd term, you're getting rid of 45 perfect squares. So hence the answer will be accordingly 2067. Moving on. Now try this out. 1 to 2 minutes again for this. the origin test. Okay. So sorry, Kanak. I hope you are there. I'll just quickly go back. I just saw your message. See, by origin test, what I was meaning was you have this inequality, right? Now, this inequality or this line was represented by this thing right here. So as you can see, this is dividing the quadrant into two parts. One is the below portion, other is the above portion. Which one should I take? For deciding which one should I take, we go for a test called as origin test, which is nothing but substitute the origin in this inequality. Substitute x equal to 0, y equal to 0 and see if it satisfies. Okay, that is how we apply the origin test. 32 is correct, Purva. Let's go for this. Let's discuss this. So the product of the roots of the equation. So what is the equation that we have? Let me write it down clearly. Log of 2 to the power log x to base 2 the whole square to the base 2 minus 5 into log x to base 2 plus 6 equal to 0. So here let's do one thing. We know one property in logarithm that logarithm of a to the power m to base some b is nothing but this power will come before the logarithm, log a to base b. Right? Let's do that. So here can I say log x to base 2 whole square will come before the logarithm, minus 5 into log x to base 2 plus 6 equals 0. And we know that log 2 to base 2 is going to be 1. We can eliminate that. So what are we left with? We're left with log x to base 2 the whole square. This is 1 anyways, minus 5 into log x to base 2 plus 6 equal to 0. Here if you want, you can put log x to base 2 as some k so that this converts into a regular quadratic equation. So if this will be k log x to base 2, so k square minus 5k plus 6. Now we can factorize this easily. So k will be equal to either 2 or it will be 3. So that means log x to base 2 will be either 2 or it will be 3. Now finding the values of x. So if log x to base 2 is 2, can I say the value of x will be 2 square 4? If log x to base 2 is 3, the value of x will be 2 cube, which is 8. And now he's asking us product of the roots of this equation. So basically product of these two. So thus can I say my answer 4 into 8 is going to be 32. All right. I hope we are clear. You can just keep taking the screenshots, or anyways this is being recorded, so no worries, you can always go back. Next question. So again I'll give you around 1 to 2 minutes for trying this out. Give this question a try. I'm just writing the given information. All right, I'm not starting with anything. Thirty seconds more, we'll start. Okay, So let's get started. So before I continue with this question, I would like to just help you remind that if you divide any number by suppose 8, then in that case the remainder that you may get can be either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 so until 7. So if the divisor is 8, the remainder can be maximum 7, right? It's always going to be less than the divisor, the remainder. Here likewise, this is what is given to us. We'll make use of it later, but look at this question. So there is some polynomial p of x. It is divided by this quadratic divisor, right? When you simplify, it's going to be x square term. So when you divide by quadratic divisor, can I say remainder cannot be quadratic? So at best, it may be linear. So that means my remainder here, I don't know what it is going to be. Suppose it is ax plus b, a linear term. A could be 0 or b could be 0. Now, if this is the case, let's use the division rule. What does it say? Dividend is equal to divisor into some quotient plus remainder, which is ax plus b. Correct? Now, please note what would happen. What would happen if I put x equal to 1 here? What would happen if I put x equal to 1 here? So, if I put x equal to 1, I'll get p of 1. This entire thing will become 0. Is going to be a plus b, right? Similarly, what will happen in this equation if I put x equal to 2? Suppose x equal to 2. What would that give me? P of 2 is going to be 0, will be equal to 2a plus b. So p of 1 is this much, p of 2 is this much. But where do we get the value of p of 1 and p of 2? That could be obtained from here. Please note the given information. Can I say, he says p of x when divided by x minus 1. So divisor is x minus 1. So dividend will be equal to divisor into some other quotient plus remainder, correct? And similarly, second information, dividend will be equal to divisor into some third quotient. I'm writing it as q2 of x plus the remainder. Now please note in this equation what will happen if I put x equal to 1? So p of 1 will be how much? This is 0, 0 plus 2, it will be 2. So that means p of 1 value is going to be 2. So can I write a plus b is 2? Similarly, in this equation substitute x equal to 2. What do we get? So p of 2 value, this is going to be 0 entirely, is going to be 1. So that means the second equation that we have, p of 2 is 1. So 2a plus b is 1. Now solve it by simply subtracting it. We'll get the value of a as minus 1. And if a is minus 1, the value of b is going to be 3. And hence the question, what is the remainder when I divide the given polynomial by x minus 1 into x plus x minus 2? The remainder is going to be ax plus b. What is a? A is minus 1. So my answer, I'm writing it here, will be equal to minus x, a is minus 1, plus 3, b is 3. So that is 3 minus x. So I should be searching for this option, which is found in the second option choice. So option choice B will be the correct answer. I hope we are clear with the working. So we have made use of the division rule here, right? The properties of remainders or division rule here. I hope we are clear. Moving on. Now this is a very interesting problem. Give this question a try. So I'll give you around 2 to 3 minutes time for this because this could be time taking. This was just the last year question. So in fact, such an arrangement is called as magic square. So where sum of the elements along any row, any column, any diagonal is equal, such arrangement is called as magic square. So questions on magic square have appeared in the past also. So this is a recurring theme. Okay, I think we'll start now. Let's get started with this. Here he says this in this matrix, 3 by 3 matrix, such that sum of all the 3 elements along any row. So if I take this row or the second row or the third row or any column, if I take the first column or the second column or the third column, or any diagonal, if I take this diagonal or this diagonal, the sum he says is going to be same. Any way you calculate the sum. Then the value of determinant of this matrix is how much? What is going to be value of determinant? Okay, let's try to write it down again. So you have x1, you have x2, you have 7, you have y1, y2, y3. In second row, all are unknowns. In third row, lucky for us, there are 2 known quantities. So we know this. Okay, so this is a matrix that we have A. So in this matrix, suppose if I ask you, he says sum along any row or column or diagonal is same. Suppose that sum is some variable s. Let the sum be s. Let the sum be s. So can I say even z1 plus 8 plus 3 is s, y1 plus y2 plus y3 is s, everywhere it's going to be s. So can I write here z1 plus 8 plus 3 is 11, if I take the third row, is going to be s. That means z1 will be what? S minus 11 in terms of sum. It's going to be s minus 11, right? Now notice, where else do we get z1? Z1 can be obtained in the first column also. But first column will not be that helpful because you have 2 other unknown variables, but z1 also appears in this diagonal. So can I say along the diagonal also z1 plus y2 plus 7 is going to be s. So that means z1 will be equal to s minus 7 minus y2, or you can put y2 here only. Now you substitute what you know about z1. Z1 was what? S minus 11. So can I say s minus 11 plus y2 will be s minus 7. S can be cancelled out and you will know the value of y2 directly. Y2 will be 11 minus 7, 4. So I can replace this value by 4. So y2 is gone. Now we'll have 4. That's known. Now next notice, where do I get y2? What junction will I get y2? Focus on that junction. So I'll get the junction here, right? This plus sign, right? The middle row and the middle column. Focus on that. So if I take the middle column, so can I say 8 plus 4, 12 plus x2 is going to be s. So we can write x2 as what? S minus 12, just like we did here. Next, can we also write the first row here will be s. So x1 plus x2 plus 7 is going to be s again. So x2 will be equal to x2 plus x1 will be equal to s minus 7. But what is x2? We can write that s minus 12 plus x1 will be equal to s minus 7. S will cancel out yet again. So x1 will be equal to 12 minus 7, which is 5. So x1 will be 5, would mean this value is gone now, it is 5. Now the moment this is 5, please note we can actually calculate the value of s. What is sum of this diagonal? 5 plus 4 plus 3, can I say this s turns out to be 12. If s is 12, can I say z1 will be 12 minus 11? So z1 is going to be 1. So this value will become 1. Okay. Also x2 was 12 minus 12. So can I say x2 is going to be 0? 0. Now we know that sum along any row or column or diagonal is going to be 12. So if this is 5 and 0, this should be 7, which is 7. All right. Next, if this is 7 and 3, 10. So y3 can I say should be 2 because the sum should be 12. Now only one element is missing, y1. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus y1 should be 12. So can I say y1 will be 6 again. So this way we can figure out all the values of the variable. So what is the matrix like now for us? So matrix is 5, 0, 7, the first row. Then you have 6, 4, 2. and then you have 183. So we need to find the determinant of this. See, it is better to find the determinant of the matrix along the row or column which has a 0 in it. So there is 1 0 in the first row. I'll continue with that. I'll calculate along the first row. So what is determinant of A? So it's going to be 5 into its cofactor, which is what? 4 into 3, 12, minus 8 into 2, 16, minus 0. This will be negative 0. Anyway, 0 into anything is 0. Plus 7 into its cofactor, which is 6 into 8, 48, minus 4. So this is how much? This is minus 4 into 5, minus 20, 0, plus 7 into 44 is 308. 308 minus 20 will be 288, and this is going to be our answer. So that means there were two layers attached to this problem. One was finding out the values of the missing variables. Second was, after you do that, find the determinant. So the answer is 288. I hope you have followed this. Y2 is equal to 4, x1 is equal to 0. No, x2 is equal to 0. If you put x1 as 0, this diagonal will not have sum of 12. Na? That is why. Next one, question number 8. You may try this again. Two minutes for this. Yeah. Yes, Kanak. This is a very long question. So definitely we'll talk about this in our last minute tips. We will talk about it. Right? So in the exam, of course, it's not essential to answer all the questions, right? The cutoff is typically what? So roughly, I would say in the MCQ part, if you do like around 15 questions, that's a great job done. And likewise in the essay questions, even if you do like around 7-8 questions, that's a good job done. So of course, you can skip a few questions. Longer one, I will skip for sure. We'll talk about that. See, the reason I'm taking up these questions here is because there is something to learn. So imagine you don't get the same problem, but a problem on magic square. So you should know how do we deal, because we have covered at least one example on that. Okay, let's go for this. Let's try this out. So it says a fruit seller had a certain number of apples, bananas, and oranges. We don't know the number. We'll have to assume some variables for that. At the start of the day, the number of bananas was 10 more than the number of apples. So whatever value I'll write here, I should write 10 more here. So this is 10 more. I'll simply write it this way. Plus 10. And the total number of bananas and apples was a multiple of 11. So this sum here is going to be a multiple of 11. She was able to sell 70% of the apples. Now, by the way, 70% means 7 by 10. 7 by 10. So that means the number of apples should be a multiple of 10 for sure. Because if it's not a multiple of 10, that 70% will not be an integer value. And generally in such questions, we deal with integer number of apples, right? Not half apple or 1/4 apple, only integer number. So hence, I would suggest we take the number of apples as some 10a. So if this is 10a, this is going to be 10a plus 10. 10 more. So now, if I talk about the sale, how much is sold? 70% of apples are sold. So 70% of this will be what? 7a. 60% of bananas are sold. 60% of this will be what? 6a plus 6. And 50% of oranges are sold during the day. So oranges suppose was R, some random value, or since he says 50%, let's take 2R, number of oranges. So this is 2R. How much are sold? 50%, half are sold. So R will remain. If she was able to sell 55% of the fruits she had at the start of the day, so that means this sum of fruits sold is 55% of the total number. Is 55% of the total number. Then she is asking us minimum number of oranges she had at the start of the day. So what is the minimum value of 2R? You have to figure out. So let's use this 55% information that we have. So total number of fruits sold is 7a plus 6a, 13a plus R plus 6. This is the number of fruits sold out of the total number of fruits, which is 20a plus 10 plus 2R. And this into 100 should be equal to 55. So taking 55 on the other side, 100 on the other side, will make it this. Now let's simplify. 5 will go 11s, 5 will go 20 times. We can cancel out a common factor. 2 will go 5 times, 10 times, 10 times. Now cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, we'll get some relation between A and R here. So 130A plus 10R plus 60 will be equal to 110A. This is 55 plus 11R. Bringing all terms on one side and taking the 60, or let's take this 2 on the other side and bring 55 on this side. 60 minus 55 will be 5. This is going to be 11R minus 10R is going to be R, right? And 110 minus 130A is 20A. So R minus 20A is going to be 5. So based on this, can we write the value of R will be equal to 20A plus 5. The value of R will be 20A plus 5. And what is my answer? Answer is 2R, please note. So my answer will be twice of this means 40A plus 10. This is what our answer will be. Okay, so I want this answer to be minimum. So that means the value of A should be minimum possible, probably 1 or 2 or 0, all right, if it's allowed. Let's check. There's one more information that we have not explored so far, which was sum of these two, that is 10A plus 10A plus 10. I'll write on next slide. Number of apples, number of bananas should be a multiple of 10. So if you write it, 20A plus 10 should be a multiple of 10. I want the value of A to be minimum possible so that my answer is minimum possible. I want A to be minimum. So can A be 1? Substitute. So if I put A equal to 1, this is 30. 30 is not a multiple of 11. No. Can A be 2? No. A be 3? 20 into 3, 30, 60 plus 10, 70. No. 4 also no. 5 is possible. So from this equation, can I say the minimum value of A happens to be 5? So thus, going back, so I want my answer to be minimum. So it's going to be 40 into 5, the minimum value of A plus 10, which is going to be what? 210. So option choice C is going to be our answer. Now, it would be difficult to say the expected cutoff and all, because it would all depend on how students are performing, what is the difficulty level, right? Generally speaking, in the essay section, if you solve around 8 questions with good accuracy, 8 to 9 questions with good accuracy, we are almost cleared. And similarly, in the MCQ question, somewhere around 13 to 15 questions with good accuracy, we have cleared the cutoffs. We are sure to clear the cutoffs. Now, ninth one. Go for this. What is the answer for this? I'll give you probably 30 seconds because you'd have learned matrices, determinant in your 11th and 12th. Okay, I hope you're already done with this, right? So when you have a matrix like this, A, B, C, B, C, A, C, A, B, right? Now, when you find the determinant, what is going to be determinant of A? So I'll expand it along the first row, suppose. So it's going to be A into its cofactor, which is BC minus A square, minus B into BACB. We take this, right? B square minus AC plus C into, what is its cofactor? It is AB minus C square. Now expand, you will get minus A cube minus B cube minus C cube plus 3ABC. Take minus common. So A cube plus B cube plus C cube minus 3ABC. He says ABC are all integers and they are all greater than 0. What can we say here? Is it positive? Kanak? Okay, let's see. What can we say about this term? Let's observe. So A cube plus B cube plus C cube minus 3ABC is a well-known expression. It has a particular factorization available. You should know this. So A cube plus B cube plus C cube minus 3ABC is factorized as A plus B plus C into A square plus B square plus C square minus AB minus BC minus AC. This is the factorization. However, here I would like to write it, the second term, slightly differently. We can also rewrite this expression as, we can write it again as half of A minus B the whole square plus B minus C the whole square plus C minus A the whole square. You can just open up the brackets and see whether you get the same expression or not. You will get same expression. So how much is this exactly? Minus half will come outside. A plus B plus C into A minus B whole square plus B minus C whole square plus C minus A the whole square. Now A, B, C are all positive integers. So can I say this is definitely going to be positive? We don't know the value, but definitely positive. Now can I say this is also definitely going to be positive because A is greater than B. So A minus B is never going to be 0. So it's going to be a positive number. So positive number square and some other squares are definitely going to be positive. Half is anyways positive. So overall, can I say positive into positive into positive will become positive, but please note you have a negative in front. So thus overall product will become negative. So hence can I say this determinant of this matrix is going to be a negative value. So option choice C will be the correct answer. I hope we are clear. Try this out, 10th one. So this I believe will not be a long question. Just try it out. See what answer you get. So I give you around 2 minutes. This is arithmetic now. For example, this is one arithmetic question. This from time, speed, distance topic. Okay, let's go for this question. Let's think about it and let's think logically because this is an arithmetic question. Can we solve it with least calculations? Let's try to do that. In a 400-meter race, So length of the track is given to us, it's 400 meters. Ashok beats Bipin. Let's call Ashok by A, Bipin by B. Ashok beats Chandan by C, respectively by 15 seconds and 25 seconds. So that means 15 seconds after A reached the finish line, B reached the finish line, and 25 seconds after A reached the finish line, C reached the finish line. Hence, can I say B will beat C by 10 seconds. Again, after 15 seconds after A reached the finish line, B reached the, for example, suppose A reached the finish line in 10 seconds. So if A is 10, so B will reach in 15 seconds more. That means 25 seconds. If A is 10, C will reach in 25 seconds more. That means 35 seconds. So that means in the overall race, B is finishing in 25 seconds, C is coming 10 seconds later. Hence, can we conclude this? B beats C by 10 seconds. Now let's continue with the question. If Ashok beats Bipin by 150 meters, so Ashok beats Bipin. This information was already given, but this time it is given in distance. 150 meters. By how many meters does Bipin beat Chandan? B beats Chandan. By how many meters? See, had the question been in time, we already know the answer, 10 seconds. But the question is in meters, distance. Let's try to figure that out. How could we do it is, observe, A can beat B in 15 seconds, A beats B by 15 seconds, and A beats B by 150 meters. What does it mean? When A is at the finish line, B is 150 meters behind, right? That is what it means. Also, after A reaches the finish line, B will take 15 seconds more. So that means effectively combining the two, can I say for running 150 meters, B is going to take 15 seconds. So hence, can I say using these two informations together, can I write speed of B is going to be, B is going to run 150 meters in the final 15 seconds. So it's going to be 10 meters per second. So speed of B is going to be 10 meters per second. That further means what? That further means time taken by B for the race for 400 meters is going to be how much? Distance to be run by, can I say, what is the speed? 10 meters per second. So 40 seconds. So if B takes 40 seconds, can I say C will take 10 seconds more? So this further means time taken by C for the race is going to be 50 seconds. So that means C is able to run 400 meters in 50 seconds. That would mean what? Speed of C is 400 meters run in 50 seconds, which is 8 meters per second. So effectively, we know speed of B also. Based on that, we could calculate speed of C also. So let's continue on the next slide. Once you know speed of B and speed of C, can I say speed of B is to speed of C is nothing but 10 is to 8, which is nothing but 5 is to 4 when you simplify. What does it mean? This means the time in which B will run 5 meters, C will run only 4 meters. So can I say in a race which is 5-meter long, in a 5-meter long race, can I say B beats C by 1 meter? Because in 5-meter long race, the time in which B will cover 5 meters, C will cover 4 only. So he'll be behind by 1 meter. So B beats C by 1 meter, we can say. But here, please note the length of the track is 400. So that means it's 80 times. So thus, can I say similarly, in a 400-meter race, B will beat C by, this will also become 80 times. My answer is 80 meters. So the answer here for this question is going to be third option choice. Okay. I hope we are clear with this. Moving on. So this is how we could logically solve it without using a lot of equations and all. we could get to our answer by using simply ratio of numbers and all. Now, next question. I'll just give you a minute for this, see if you get the answer. Very good. Correct answer. So, in case you have solved such questions in the past, you would be able to think quickly. Otherwise, many people will be lost in thought as to what to do with that 95 factorial there. Let's go for this question. So, 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 4 factorial, 5 factorial, and so on till 95 factorial. What are the values? 1, 2, 2 factorial, 3 factorial is 6, 4 factorial is 24, 5 factorial is 120, and so on. Now we are dividing this sum by 15. Now can we note, please note, 120 is divisible by 15. If 120 is divisible by 15, this will give me 0 remainder. And if 5 factorial itself will be divisible by 15, can I say 6 factorial will also be divisible? 7 factorial will also be divisible, because 7 factorial is what? 7 factorial is nothing but 7 into 6 into 5 factorial, isn't it? So if 5 factorial is divisible by 15, we can say 7 factorial will also be divisible by 15 naturally, right? So here all these numbers are going to give us 0 remainder. That's the point to be noted. See, the moment we realize that 95 factorial has no significance at all, now what are we left with? We are left with a small sum here. So 30 and 33. So this 33 will give us some remainder. What's the remainder? We can do it manually also. 15 goes twice and the remainder is going to be 3. A very, very direct question from your IPMAT Indore. Next question. Now try to look at this question, solve it. Very good, Purva. Yes, Devyansh. Absolutely correct, both of you. So this is a question which actually needs not a lot of solving, but understanding. So if you look at this question, it says consider an 8 by 8 chessboard. So let's take it up here. So this is a chessboard that we are talking about. Consider an 8 by 8 chessboard. The number of ways 8 rooks. So 8 pieces, suppose. All right, 8 pieces can be placed on this board such that no 2 rooks are in the same row or same column. No same row, no same column. Right? In how many ways can we place these 8 pieces here? So firstly, please understand, I can place the first piece. For example, here I have this 8 by 8 chessboard which is available for me in its entirety. Right? This is available for me. See the moment I take, for example, if I take the first row, suppose I can place that rook anywhere I want. So that means I can place it in 8 ways. I can place it here or here or here or here or here. I can start with any row for that matter. Just for the sake of discussion, I'm starting with the first row. So can I say the first piece can be placed in any of the rows in 8 ways? So first piece, I'll just write it in yellow. So the first piece can be placed in 8 ways. I hope you understand. We can place it anywhere. For the sake of discussion, suppose we have placed the rook here. See, the moment I place the rook here, can I say for the next piece, this particular column is gone? And similarly, this particular row is gone anyways. Row is gone because we're counting from row. This column is gone. So that means when I consider the second piece now, how many ways can I place it? For example, suppose for the sake of discussion again, I pick the second row. I want to place the second piece in the second row. I can place it anywhere I want. Second row. Here can I say I can place it anywhere but this place. So it can be placed now, can I say, in 7 ways. Going ahead in the same way, the third piece can be placed in 6 ways. The next fourth piece in 5 ways. The next piece in 4 ways. And this will continue till you have the last piece left, the 8th piece left, for which you'll have only 1 way. And we are supposed to multiply all these numbers naturally, because our task is placing all the 8 pieces, not one of the single pieces, not any single piece there, all the 8. So we'll place the first piece also, second piece also, and the last piece also. So we'll multiply here. So thus my answer is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 1, which is nothing but, can I say, 8 factorial. So option choice D is going to be the correct answer for this. Next, question number 13. So this is on trigonometry. Try it out. A minute for this. So there is arithmetic progression usage. There is of course trigonometry here. See what answer do we get. Okay, let's go for this. If the angles ABC of a triangle are in arithmetic progression such that sine of 2a plus b is half. So we know sine of what angle is half, right? So we know sine 30 is half. So can we conclude here 2a plus b must be 30 degree? That's one very direct conclusion that one may make, not looking at the other conditions. But please note, what does it say? ABC are in AP. So that means we know one property. Sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degree. If they are in AP, can I say sum of the other two terms, the first and third term, will be equal to twice of the middle term? That's the condition for AP. So here can we put A plus C as 2B. So B plus 2B is 3B equals 180 degree. So we'll get the value of B as 60 degree for sure. And see, the moment B is 60 degree, 2A plus B naturally cannot be 30. So then you need to think of some higher value. So what is the other value of sine, which will give us half as the value? So can I say the other value is naturally 150 degree. Sine 150 is same as sine 30, which is half. So B is given to be 60. So can I say 2A will be 150 minus 60 is 90. So A will be 45 degree. And if A is 45, B is 60, can I say C will be 75 degree. So once you know all the three angles, you can easily find the answer for the question he's asking us. He's asking us sine of B plus 2C will be how much? So can I say this will be nothing but sine of B is how much? 60 plus 2 into C is 150. So this is sine of 210 degree. And please note 210 lies in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, sine will be negative. And can we write this as sine of 2 into 90 plus theta, 30 degree. So sine of n into 90 plus theta, where n is even, is nothing but sine theta. I hope you know this. So sine, I'm sure you all know this, right? No need to write it. So this will be sine 30 with a minus sign, of course, because 210 falls in the third quadrant. So it's minus half. So option choice A is going to be our correct answer. Okay. Next is on again PNC. Try it out. See, after this, the last two questions of 15th and 16th are going to be somewhat challenging. So give those questions a decent try. The next two questions. This one maybe we can start with it. Last session also we have taken up a question like this, if you remember, in the IPMAT Rohtak and Indore, the previous week session. Let's go for this directly. The number of solutions of this equation. Where x1, x2, x3 are integers such that x1 is greater than or equal to 1. So can I say x1 minus 1 will be greater than or equal to 0? So if x1 minimum value is 1, for x1 minus 1 minimum value will become 0. Similarly, x2 greater than or equal to 2 means x2 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. x3, x4 anyways are greater than or equal to 0. So what do we do here is we are trying to bring everyone, each of the variable, to the same common denominator, greater than or equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0, everywhere the same minimum value. For doing that, I need to subtract 1 on both sides to balance the equation. For x2, I need to subtract 2 on both sides. So what do we get here? x1 minus 1 plus x2 minus 2 plus x3 plus x4 is 47. So here x1 supposes x1 minus 1 is capital X1, x2 minus 2 is capital X2, x3 and x4 equal to 47. Now can I say for this equation I want whole number solutions, because x1 minus 1 that is x capital X1, x2 minus 2 that is capital X2, x3, x4 all are whole numbers greater than or equal to 0. So what's the number of whole number solutions? So number of whole number solutions is nothing but equal to, the formula is this value 47 plus number of variables minus 1, C number of variables minus 1. I hope you remember the formula. So x1, x2, if you have r variables equal to n, the number of whole number solutions is n plus r minus 1, C r minus 1. So this is how much? This is 50 C3. So how much is 50 C3? Let's calculate. So 50 into 49 into 48 by 6. 6 will go 8 times. 50 into 8 is 400. 400 into 49 will be 19,600. So option choice A is going to be the correct answer. I hope we are clear with this. Now the next question is interesting. Please look at this. So next question is on 2 slides. So this is the first slide. The following table shows the number of employees and their median ages in 8 companies located in a district. So there are 8 companies, for each company different number of employees, different median ages. It is known that the age of all the employees are integers. It is also known that age of every employee in A, so I'll write like this, age of every employee in A is strictly less than age of every employee in B. The age of every employee in B, this value is less than, strictly less than the age of every employee in C. And then he says so on. Age of every employee in G is strictly less than H. So we have 8 companies, A to H. For these 8 companies, the age of each employee in company A is less than age of each employee in company B, which is less than age of each employee in C, so until H. But nowhere he mentions the ages should be distinct. That's the key thing to note here. Distinct ages जरूरत नहीं है. हो सकता है they can be repeated ages, same age. The highest possible age of an employee of company A is what? So we want highest possible age of an employee of company A. So let's try to focus on that. Going back. So if you look at company A, we have 32 employees with the median age of 24. What do you mean by median? The middle values. Now in case of even number of employees, there will be two middle values. So two middle values probably would be like 24, 24. Or it could also be probably 23, 25. All right, but I'm taking 24, 24 case. So out of 32 employees, 2 employees are already taken care of. I'm left with 30 employees. 15 will be above them, 15 will be below them. 15 employees above, 15 employees below. The values will come something like this: 24, 24. This could be 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Any kind of numbers that we have here, integer values. So we can fill them up. No need to fill them up right now. Let's look at B. What's the situation for B? So if you look at B, the number of employees is 28. The median age is 30. So that means again 28 is even. So probably it will be like this. I'll take 30, 30 because I want to increase the age of employees of B as much as possible so that the possible age of employee of A can be increased. So I want to keep it 30 and 30, not 29 and 31. I don't want this. So again, out of 28, 2 people are already covered. So we're left with 26 people. So we'll have 13 people here, the other 13 here. Some values will come here. Some values less than or equal to 30. Some values greater than or equal to 30 will come here, and so on for the others. See, we need not even look at the others because the others are pretty high. 39, 45, 49, 54. They're pretty high, the other companies. Now focus only on A and B. I want age of any employee in A to be as high as possible, but it should not be, age of any employee should not be more than age of B, age of employee, any employee of B. In fact, it cannot be equal also. And we know for sure one of the employees of B will have 30 years of age. Some employee will have 30 years of age for sure. So that means in case of B, in case of A, none of the employees can have age of 30 also. It should be less than that. Now, can it be 29? Let's figure it out. So probably yes, I'll give everyone 24, last one 29. Here also, I'll give everyone 24. Still the median will be 24, no problem. The maximum possible age for any employee can be 29. See, what would have happened had I put here 29 and 31? Then also your median will be the middle value, which is 30. But in this case, you cannot even put 29 as age of A, any employee of A. You'll have to put maximum 28 then. But I want to maximize it, so hence I said, will not consider this case. So thus, what's the answer for this? So the maximum age of any employee of A, after we understand the question without lot of solving, will be 29. That's the correct answer. All right. Now, so this is the last question for our today's session before we move on to the last minute tips. Let's go for this. You try it out, please. I give you around 2 minutes for this question. Okay, let's go for this. If one of the lines given by this equation equal to 0 coincides with one of those given by this equation equal to 0, and the other lines represented by them are perpendicular, then a square plus b square is how much? So I'll just try to explain. This first equation that we have is actually a pair of lines. So they would be like this probably, like this line and this line. Now, for the second equation, the pair of lines represented by this are one of the lines will coincide and the other line is going to be perpendicular to this, something like this. So it's going to be perpendicular to the other line. So that's what he says. So one of the line coincides and the other is perpendicular. Then what can we say about the value of a square plus b square? So let's try to understand the question, solve it out. I'm sure we know some basic stuff like if this is pair of lines, the pair of lines will be like, so general form of the line is ax plus by plus c equal to 0, and here clearly these are passing through the origin because this satisfies the origin. So it will be a1x plus b1y into a2x plus b2y. So these are the pair of lines represented by this first line. One of the lines is common, he said. So this is, let's suppose this is the line which is common. So here also it will be a1x plus b1y into. Now the second line that we have here is perpendicular to this line. So I ask you, what is equation of a line perpendicular to ax plus by plus c equal to 0? So equation of a line perpendicular to this line will be given as bx minus ay plus k equal to 0. But if I ask you, equation of a line perpendicular to this and passing through origin, this k will vanish. Now here, of course, the second line that we have, that will be passing through origin again, because this also satisfies the origin. So both the lines should pass through the origin. So what is the equation of a line which is perpendicular to this? It will be bx, so here b is b2, minus ay, so a2y. So this is the equation of the second line. So that means the first equation is represented by these two lines, the second is represented by these two lines. Then what is the value of a square plus b square? We have to figure out. Let's proceed. Let's open up the brackets in the first equation and compare the corresponding terms. So when I do that, what do we get here on the first equation? So here we'll get 2x square plus axy plus 3y square will be equal to what? When you open the brackets, it's a1 a2 x square plus a1 b2 plus a2 b1 into xy plus b1 b2 y square. Now do the direct comparison. Can I say a1 a2 should be equal to 2, right? And also b1 b2 should be equal to 3. And here can I say a1 b2 plus a2 b1, the coefficient of xy should be equal to a. Okay, this by direct comparison of the corresponding terms. Similarly, in case of second equation, let's observe what happens. When you open up this brackets, you'll get a1 b2 x square. Okay, then b1 b2 minus a1 a2 into xy. Please note a1 a2 will have a minus sign. b1 b2 xy will not have a minus sign. Minus b1 a2 y square. Now again by direct comparison, here can I say a1 b2 is going to be 2. Also a2 b1, that's going to be 3. Minus and minus will cancel out. And finally in the middle term, we'll have b1 b2 minus a1 a2 will be equal to b. Okay, so we want to find a square plus b square, right? So this square plus this square, let's calculate. What will that be? So a square plus b square will turn out to be, this is b1 b2 square, all right, or can I write it like this? I'll write whole square simply, plus a1 a2 whole square minus 2 b1 b2 a1 a2. That is your b square value. That is your b square value. Similarly, a square will be what? a1 b2 whole square a2 b1 whole square plus 2 a1 a2 b1 b2. And if you notice, minus 2 a1 a2 b1 b2 plus 2 1 a2 b1 b2 will cancel out. So I'm finally left with this, and these values, where do we get it? So b1 b2, if you will see, you get it here, 3 square. a1 a2, you'll get it here, it's 2 square. a1 b2, you get it here, 2 square, and a2 b1 is 3 square. So finally your answer, 3 square is 9, 9 into 2 is 18, 2 square is 4, 4 into 2 is 8. So finally my answer will look like 26. Very, very long and of course difficult question to solve in an exam condition, right? So it won't be possible for many students to attempt this, but again the idea of taking it up here is so that we learn how to do it. I'm not asking you to solve it in a test. So with this we are done with the questions as such. Now we shall look at some last minute tips quickly. So I just have some 4-5 points to share with you. See, as far as quantitative ability is concerned, one of the most important things that you must do before you go for the test, right? In fact, till the last day before the test, say you have your test tomorrow, so today till evening you should be doing it, which is definitely you need to revise. So revision is something that you cannot skip, you cannot leave assuming that you're okay with the concepts, because if you do not revise well before the test, now in the test you will come across a question which will be making use of some of the numbers formula. If you don't recall that formula, either you will take very long or you won't be able to solve it. So thus revision definitely helps. My advice to all would be, this is one of the key factors in your overall success. So definitely don't miss out on this. This is one small advice that I have. You still have a couple of days before your test, so please ensure you do that. Also, when you're revising, when you're learning something new, however, I advise not to learn something new at this stage of preparation, but still, when you're revising, ensure that you revise everything. So don't have favorites. Okay, for example, okay, in the past year, IPM Indore, there was no question of PNC. Suppose I will not study PNC. Don't have such thoughts, because that composition of question may very well change, and IPM has large number of quant questions. So some 40-45 questions, that is what we have. So you will definitely get good number of questions from almost all the areas. So it's definitely a good idea on focusing on all the areas. Remember, it's a time test, so you have only 2 hours to take up the questions that you have in front of you, and also you have the sectional time. So that means when you're in that essay part or you're in the MCQ part, you need to perform to the best possible levels in those 40 minutes. Now, if you have to perform to the best possible levels, one of the key things that you should try to do is, please understand, for example, if I talk about MCQ, there are 30 questions. Now, as I was saying during the session somewhere, looking at the test historically, we can say somewhere around 13 to 14 is a good attempt. So that means if you get 13 to 14 questions right, of course, I'm assuming some extra questions which may go wrong, 13 to 14 right, that basically is a good attempt. So that further means what? You're leaving away another 10 to 14 questions, right? Around 10-15 questions you're leaving away. So that means when I'm saying it's a time test, so manage your time well, what I'm referring to is, don't waste a lot of time on a question coming from your favorite area. Now, since it's from favorite area, I don't want to leave it, because I'm sure that I'll get the answer. Now, even if you're sure, but it's going to take some time, please stay away. Of course, low-lying fruits first. All right. When you're going through the questions, don't go in order. I hope you'll not do that. Go for the questions that you think you can cover easily, right? Easier questions first. Sectional time limit, I was talking about this. So since there is sectional time limit, you need to know some details about the test. Okay, okay, when do I say tell myself that I've done okay? So the parameter is basically this: 50% of the questions. So if you have reached almost 50% of the questions, for example, in your essay, you have 15 questions. So say you have solved somewhere around 8 questions correctly, you think you solved correctly, you have done decently well. Similarly, here somewhere around 15, you have done decently well. But for verbal, it would be a different game entirely, because questions there are relatively easy. You can attempt them pretty much faster than the quant section. So over there, it would be a different game for these two quant sections. So roughly, it's like 50%. So you need to know the test so as to decide how much time, how much energy, efforts are you going to spend on a particular question. Remember, there will be sectional cutoffs. So that means if I miss out on even one single section, if I don't do well in that, my entire prospects of admission and all will be impacted on account of that. Please go in with a solid strategy. Don't go in with a blank slate, I would say. So have something in mind. Okay, I have these 2 3 things in mind. So if the paper turns out to be a difficult paper, then I'll do this. If it turns out to be an easy paper, I'll try to do it like this. I will go for all the questions all at once, or I'll scan them first. I'll go for the questions in the order of difficulty. For example, if I see a question is difficult, I leave it. I'll go for the. So what strategy are you going with? So please develop that strategy in the next couple of days. Also, you can take some mocks too for that, to check which strategy will help you. That's it. Okay. So these are some of the points that I wanted to share with all of you. So now that the session is over, I would like to end it by thanking all of you and also wishing you good luck in your paper on the Monday. So we will be again catching up on Monday. All right, we'll be coming back with the analysis of that particular paper. So please do come back. Do well, right? Do well. All the very best, guys. All right. Thank you. One second. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.